Okay. Okay. I think it already is funny. I think it's already glitching out. But Iconia is funny in general. You're not that kind of funny. Alright, I'm going to employ extreme measures. Link eye blinking. There we go. Now the eyes are always linked. I can no longer wink, but if I need to, I can always just turn it off. No problem. Anyway, so we are here today to play the new Kanto. Kanto. It has the new... It has the new... It has the new screen. Hello. Hey, Bellow Stellar. There's no sound in the game. Because the game sound is disabled. I have to actually get in the game to turn it on. Hope you guys are okay. Fixer. I hardly know her. Association and office. The city. The wings. Lobotomy Corporation. Apparently there's a Lobotomy Corporation tabletop game, by the way. I'll put on my stuff. There. Game is loading, chat. There is one already. Yeah. I've seen it on Tabletop Simulator. I don't think it's official. Oh. A portion of the Eager Shards crate you only be carried. Oh, yeah. Okay, converted into threat crates. Ooh, already? Identity max level expanded? Well, let's start by, turning on the audio. Claim all. Some issues have been resolved. Alright. I actually have to restart the game, guys. I'm sorry. But in order for me to buy the Limbus Pass, I actually need to start the game in a different mode. Oh yeah, I have to also buy the... Yeah, basically, so I need to go here to the shop and buy this for $11. Oh, wait. Oh, they fixed it. Okay, thank God. They fixed it. They fixed it. Okay, you guys don't see anything on my on my screen, but let me quickly let me get let me quickly acquire currency. You're not gonna need full 455 for this content. Full 55 of what? Oh, the levels? Right. Oh, I forgot to choose the payment method correctly. There we go. Just gonna pay with my Steam wallet real quick. And done. And reload. Not the game. And authorize. To inbox. Claim. Now I have paid Lunacy. I'm gonna go spend it on spins, obviously. No, I'm just kidding. Buy Limbus Pass. So I'm not going to buy the Limbus Pass package, because that's expensive. But I am going to buy the Limbus Pass. Limbus Pass activated. Alright. And what did we get? Some identity pass. Okay. And the celebratory banner starting for the start of season 6. Season 6. Oh, it's so cool. I like the style of this one with the little pet elves. The pet elves flying around. I do wish that this was a little bit better, because this looks this doesn't look very good in my opinion. This doesn't look very intuitive. But yeah. Anyways, let's check out what is on the banner this time. We've got Heisho, Pack, Rodion, and Gregor. Let's check them out. These guys are still Rupture? Rupture, Serpent Arm, like Speed Rupture, I mean. That's right, Venom. Yeah, I reckon I'm gonna try. I have a lot of Lunacy saved up. I'm gonna do like at least maybe like a 10 roll to celebrate the start of a new season. Yeah, guys? Yeah? Gotcha gaming. Okay, we gotcha gaming again. I did everything as I was told. Is the new one? Yeah, let's go. New Rodion already acquired. Very pog. Or a Yisongo Ego. Wishing Cairn. I didn't have that one. Alright, let's do again. Gotcha more. Okay, no more. The rest of them are for Lunacy. I mean, I still have some tickets. Let's do single extractions too. I'll use the tickets up. 50 ryoshu. I need Gregors, damn it. Could also wait until the next banner and get 2 more Heisho pack IDs. Then bring Honglu with his pack, with his own pack. That'd be funny. Technically, I could already kind of do that. It's just the pack is gonna have 3 people in it. Alright, I didn't get it. Got 1 though. I won't have to be this beast anymore. Hey, show pack. Hey, show pack. Defense plus. Clashable guard? What the heck? Clashable guard. And the coin is unbreakable. And it gives 3 serpent arm. Alright. Very curious. Very interesting. Very interesting. Gregosi shards. Wait, they didn't delete my shards. I think. No, I did already get this many shards. I guess I already did. I guess I already did get this many shards. Alright. Let's go into the new story. That's what I've been waiting for. The surrendered witnessing. Homeward bound. Oh, I don't have any. Yeah, I need to use a box. I guess I have this now. Do I just bring this team? The bleed. Do I have a team that I have? I do. It's a sinking team. It's a sinking team. I could bring Diechi Honglu with me. Or charge. Could also bring charge. Apparently he's also part of my rupture team though. Very interesting. Why not Mao? That must have been a mistake. You don't even do rupture. Let's do a sinking team here. Yeah. Flowers wilt, petals fall, a drizzle of blossoms sky blotting. Colors fade, fragrance dies, but who shall mourn their passing? To the garden I go, in hand a flower rake, only to pace, lest crushed the scattered blossoms I make. Thus in this troubled world I breathe. To shut my eyes is my sole reprieve. Scary grandma. Little Bao, you must have walked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home. I wouldn't say I suffered much, grandmother. My days were always filled with new and interesting things to see. What are they talking about over there? They're sitting so far apart that I can hardly hear them. I mean, is this even a dining table? I can't even see who's sitting at the other end from here. Is there anything bothering you, dear guests? If this humble servant can help with any... Oh, there's something bothering me, alright. We're in the middle of a meal, can you please stop? No, not at all. Nothing's bothering us at all. Everything's good. Now, Bao Yu, my boy, when will you introduce me to your new friends? Oh boy, I never know how to act in front of others' parents. Where should I look? Is this an appropriate size for a polite smile? I hope I don't come off too smarmy. It's nothing to fuss over. Think of this as your own place and enjoy your time here. Woohoo! Thank you! But view, this place is so huge that I can hardly relax. I'm worried I might get lost going out for a cup of water. Don't you worry. We have stray people shelters located all around the house for that. Our servants visit them once a month to collect anyone who's unfortunately gotten lost. If they're still alive, that is. Hung Lu, that has to be the funniest joke you've ever told. I wasn't joking, but I'm glad you enjoyed it anyway. I must ask, Hung Lu, for I spy no other sibling of yours here. This is quite odd, for I had thought this to be a welcoming party for your return. It's my welcoming party, too. Besides, what makes you think we'd ever want to see their stupid faces, just to get mad? It's been like 10 whole years since we haven't shared a meal together. Oh, and don't even think about trying to chat me up. Did you already forget what I said earlier? There's nothing between us anymore. We're enemies. Did we initiate the conversation, though? Oh, I'm simply so glad that my son, Bao Yu, has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight. And unharmed, too. So, dear Bao Yu, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again? Nothing has been decided yet, Mother. I see. I am simply concerned that were you stay here to be prolonged, perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed. Do you also not agree, Venerable Jia Mu? Indeed. Dear Bao Yu, our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right, and fulfill your worth. Okay, grandmother. Mother. Throughout the entire familial discussion, Hong Lu's expression remained the same in a tranquil, perpetual smile. Despite his return after years of wandering being met with the family's obvious push to make him leave as soon as possible, he stands unaffected, as though he were expecting this gaudy yet hollow welcome. With his attitude being so passive, I also had no choice but to watch as a bystander. Всем вечера. Привет. A few hours ago. The palanquin will be here soon. A palanquin? Wow, so cool. That sure sounds like a fancy ride. Isn't that just super, Greg? Oh yeah, son. Are we getting a palanquin or whatever it's called to give us a ride all the way to the mansion? The usual comedy pair's desperate efforts to lighten the mood are particularly appreciated today, as tragically ineffective as they seem to be. Yes, the LCB and Jia Shichun will be heading to Dagguanyuan, Grandview Garden. Apparently this means that, where one of the most prominent families of H-Corp reside. If they've sent a whole palanquin to pick us up, does Hong Lu's family already know that he'll be participating in the family hierarch war? No, it is unlikely that they are aware. After all, it can be assumed that the most likely reason that the company waited until the last minute to relay this order was to minimize the chance of information leakage. Therefore, it would be correct to presume that the palanquin is here merely as a gesture of welcome for Hong Lu and Jia Shichun's return. Which means that only the invited, Hong Lu, Jia Shichun, and their factions can ride the palanquin to Dagwan Yuan. Hello, DSN. Unfortunately, this means the LCCB, Virgilius, and Karan won't be able to join you on this journey. That's too bad. It would have been nice if we could go all there together. Just as petty as I expected from the seniors of our family. Would it kill them to house a handful more people in that humongous park of a house? It's not like they'd notice the difference. Oh my, how touching. Looks like Miss Jashi Chun thinks she'll miss us too. What a thing to say to my face after that shameless backstabbing. I mean, do any of you even comprehend what it means to participate in the family hierarchy war? Do you even understand why we call it a war when the official name for it is an evaluation? You're risking your lives by getting involved in this. Once you get in there, you'll be stalked at every turn by people looking to kill you. Including me. Remember how Wei saved your life back at that fake Kazan? Now imagine the same scenario, except this time it could be Wei who's there to kill you. I must say ahead of time that this is a truly regrettable turn of events. I did not wish to have to fight any of you, but... Wei looked at us with an unfamiliar and cold, intense glare. Well, we feel very much the same way, so it looks like we're on the same page here. This means that I'm also fair game. You could stab me in the back again, literally this time. No, never. I wouldn't even dream of doing something like... Josh Chun ignored Sinclair's anxious pleas and looked straight toward Hong Lu. This could be the last chance to change your mind, brother. I didn't invite you to join my faction with a light heart. Besides, it's the family hierarchy war. This isn't something you can just flippantly decide that you want to participate. I know the life you've lived, Shichen. I also grew up hearing those countless tales about the family hierarchy war, just as you did. So the weight we're feeling must be the same. Right. So this is where our tenuous alliance really ends. Well, not like I care. It did drag on a little too long for a temporary alliance forged out of convenience. Пришел на игровой стрим, так и слушаю Дораву. Да, добро пожаловать. У нас тут стори-контент сегодня. Новая часть. Новая глава. Глава 7. Нет. 8? 8. Глава 8. We're just going back to how things used to be, that's all. And that's fine by me. I think that's enough chit-chat with you, Ben. Okay, if that's what you want. Oh, Shichun. What? Please don't tell the family that I'll be participating, will you? I was told to keep this a secret for now. Russian Ikonia sounds good? Well, yeah, I do speak both languages, yeah. Ha. Tell me one reason I should do you that favor now. For someone who supposedly doesn't care, Shichun appeared rather hurt as she took a moment to glare at Hong Lu, biting her lower lip. Then suddenly strode right up to him. Is this even your call, brother? Or are you just following their orders? Shichun gestured toward the rest of us with her chin. My participation in the family hierarchy war is already decided. If you're still curious to know why, then... Shichun, do you believe that my choices carry any significant meaning? Oh, I see what's up. This crap again. So you already know what participating in the war means, but you just have no idea why I'd ever ask you something like that, huh? Fine. Looks like I don't even need to hear your reply. There's no point in trying with you anymore. At least I'll have fun watching how far you get with that shallow, meaningless attitude of yours. Whoa. Hey, wait. Jashichun appeared pretty distressed after that exchange, so I was about to say something, when Pilot, who's been fiddling with the radio behind Sod, began shouting urgently. Whoa, Manager Sod! A palanquin has been seen coming this way! Oh, I forgot which voice I gave to Pilot. I'd like to chill a bit today. Yesterday was too tough. Let's head on over so we can at least relax on the way there. Nope, we're taking this one. You never think twice about giving things up to others anyway, do you, brother? What? What the heck do you mean? Come on, let's do this fair and square with, like, Rock, paper, and scissors. Ah, sure. Why not decide the next hierarchy with a game of rock, paper, and scissors too? How's that? Joshi-chun gave us a wry grin before leaving. Wei followed her wordlessly. Boy, and I thought we were finally making some friends out here. Look, over there's a group waiting for a pelican. One of them must be the candidate the client told us about. Everyone, there's a group of hostile-looking people coming our way. She is unlikely to be the only one who's going after the other candidates. Executive manager, we best take care of them before the next palanquin arrives. Oh, it's time to fight. Yeah, what can we do, right? Kill him. Oh, yeah. We get that good vibe again. Wait, we can't hear the game? Are you kidding me? You tell me this now? Думали, что так и задумано, ребят? Вы серьезно? I was away looking for meds, I'm sorry. Oh, now I feel like an asshole, okay. I mean, you did say, oh, the game sound's turned off, so yeah, I thought it was a plan. Then I said that I'm turning it on. You saw it on the stream. It was... Never mind. Много среди своего комьюнити славянского народца. На Дискорде ощущение, что только американско-британские юзеры. Ну, среди комьюнити как такового... Некоторое количество русскоговорящих, да, есть. На Дискорде в основном ребята... которые пришли за мной из-за моей работы, скажем так. На стримах найдутся, да. But, ну, вообще, да. Часть русских, часть не русских. Моя комьюнити не очень большая. Я бы даже сказал, она очень маленькая. No more signs of enemy reinforcements, executive manager. At least there's an end to them this time. The guys that attacked us when we first got here were endless. Well, that's because we walked right into a trap then. Shallow, but still. Anyways, Chun appeared pretty hurt by that, didn't she? Honestly, though, I get why she feels so betrayed. Remember all those stories about Honglu's family we've heard? Imagine you're one of their kids, thinking that you finally found like a potential ally in your family, only for him to pretty much stab you in the back last minute. Он даже скорее локальное, что даже кайфовее, но тут имхо. Ну, да. Скажем так, если бы я действительно стремился прям расти, я бы, наверное, старался расширять свой канал побыстрее. Скорее всего, не стримил бы с женской аватарки. Нашел бы себе, заказал бы, наверное, что-то мужское. Потому что, ну, если притягивать аудиторию голосом, то, наверное, скорее женскую. А женскую аудиторию притягивает скорее мужской аватар. Да и вообще люди как-то привыкли смотреть на мужской аватар, если слышат мужской голос, и наоборот. Вот. Я лично вдохновлялся VTuberом Porcelain Maid. Он с женским аватаром тоже вещает. Вот. Ну и вообще, я не делаю шорты, я не распространяю себя по социальным сетям, так что я очень казуальный стример. И аудитория у меня такая же. И это нормально. Yeah, right. It was really awkward for me too, even though I wasn't exactly involved. Sod chimed in nonchalantly, as though it wasn't her who pulled the plug on their alliance at the last second. Anyways, where's our escort? I can't imagine that H-Corp can't afford to send us guards with a palanquin. Он уже полуголый византийский воин. If this family loved each other enough to send escorts for their safety, I doubt they'd be holding a cutthroat ceremony like the family hierarch evaluations. It's a world where might makes right, where the strong prey on the weak. People won't bat an eye if one of the dozens of candidates is found dead in some ditch on the road. Varang. Varang. Oh, sorry, Honglu. I must have been running my mouth again without thinking about how that sounds. Someone usually stopped me before I got too far. Don't worry. He didn't say anything wrong. It took me a while to realize that other families weren't like this, but there is no reason to be upset by the way things are. Honglu is just nonchalant. He doesn't care. Honestly, all of the people who we met in the previous, like, intervallo, who were aura farming, have no shit on Honglu. Honglu is the biggest aura of them all. Thick aura. We don't know how many nodes there are. More story. What's that ominous metallic noise? The tolling of bells. Bells with a resonance unlike that of any other, normally marked by their clarity. This bell is muddled, as if it tolls for ill fortune on the horizon. Wow, that bell sure is a resounding reminder that I'm home again. It's the bell that tolls every once in a while. You can hear its resonance from anywhere in Hong Yuan. It's restructuring day. Yeah, thank you. But the restructuring day already... She trails off, unable her to finish her sentence as a brutal scene unfolds behind us. Whoa, are you guys seeing this? The buildings are all starting to shift. It was as Mishmael said, the buildings are all tethered to a complicated network of rails, were either rising from or sinking into the earth. Movement has been observed from every building in the vicinity. Everything is changing. The localized shifting of structures we had observed yesterday night were not as sweeping as this. What you saw last night must have been a premonition of the restructuring day, nudging some buildings to their position for a smoother overall distribution of space. Now this is the real deal. Huh, that whole mess was just a premonition? It's a remnant of an old H-Corp that was here long before the current Hong Yuan. This structure has been here for a while, so we can't quite know the nature of the purpose of this singularity, but at this moment... Я думал, что фраза «крыша поехала» имеет переносное значение. Но если живешь вот в этом районе города, то нет. They shift based on current H-Corp's restructuring standards. They're singing, so I'm not gonna interrupt them. That's definitely one of the songs of all. These people are falling. The consequence of reassembly for the evicted is an endless plummet. What a terribly distressing sight to behold, unable to do aught to help. Is this another one of H-Corp's idiosyncrasies? I don't know. Didn't other nests also have their own measures of one's wealth? As T-Corp makes use of time as currency. Exactly. H-Corp's measure of wealth and currency is based on how much space a person owns, measured by a scale they call rooms. Oh no. It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. It's raining homeless men. Id est. The measure of one's space is the measure of one's wealth. Exactly. So once every month, the worth of each person's labor and the quantity of their income are measured to determine how much space they are assigned. So they can just kick me out of my home for no reason? What kind of ridiculous rule is that? Well, it might appear that way to outsiders like us, but the calculations behind these redistributions are meticulously designed and have been here for a long time. So it seems to me that everyone just accepts them as a natural part of their lives. Have you seen this happen in person too, Hoglu? This restructuring day? I have. Sometimes I'd watch the cityscape from behind the railings of my room. It happened far, far away from me, but I could see it all very well. His expression remains tranquil and still as he calmly reminisces. It was like then when he was merely watching the featureless scenery pass him by. Naguan Yuan, my old home, was never too concerned about the restructuring days. We'd get more rooms some days, but we'd never, ever shrink. So I've never been affected by these restructuring days. I only ever witnessed them as they happened beneath me, high up in my room. You're... Fine. I doubt there's anything you could have done, but... You just sat on your hands and watched all this shite. Heathcliff trailed off, but I could see that he was gritting his teeth. Oh, another palanquin is coming! And there's your ride. I think we've chatted enough, so let's get you guys going. This is a palanquin? Yep, looks like they sent us a palanquin large enough to comfortably seat a large crowd of people together. Young Master Jabao Yu and his 12 honored guests, is that correct? It's 13 to be exact. But I thought Sod wasn't invited. Whoa, hold your horses. I was told young Master Bao Yu's faction was just 12 people. Upon hearing that, Sod began aggressively striding toward him, causing the palanquin bearer to shrink in fear. Oh, slow down, lady. We are 12 people. What's wrong? Sorry, be right back. Yeah, okay. Sorry. Sorry about that. We are back. Everything is okay, but I had to suddenly get up and leave. But yeah, everything's good now. I mean, don't tell me this thing looks like a normal contributing member of a clan to you. What? Sword suddenly grabbed my shoulders and presented me before the bearer like I was some product. I mean, that's a pretty unique head this one's got there. Don't think I've seen anything like it around here in Hongyuan. But isn't that just a prosthetic? In the shape of a clock, I guess, but still. Emotional damage. I mean, let me ask you something. Can you imagine why anyone in their right mind would stick a clock where their head's gonna go? Even if they were hurting for cash? No way, ma'am. Never. There are way more versatile biomodifications available here in Hongyuan than whatever that hack job is. Nobody in their right mind would. Exactly, right? No idea what went down, but this fellow here sure seems to have fallen on hard times. Too bad we live in a world where such misfortune can befall an honest soul like them. Boy, oh boy, looks like this one's got scammed. A nasty scam, too. Whatever backstreets they got that from must have been a real scoundrel who did it. And look, even the clock isn't on time, and this poor person's barely conscious. Look, all they can do is make these weird ticking noises because they don't even have a mouth. Those are some pretty darn hurtful things to say, but I decided not to take them at face value. It was very obvious what she was trying to do. Somebody tell Sod I'm getting dizzy. Good grief, you weren't kidding. Who could have done something so awful? It's a real blessing that young Master Bao Yu is such a kind-hearted soul. He simply could not walk past the timepiece emporium selling this human being like they're some toy or a tool, so he picked them up to get their head replaced with something proper. Hongyuan's got more than enough resources for something like that, right? Oh, well, you're not wrong there. It's really easy to swap out your whole body as long as you've got the cash to burn. What? A new head? For me? Right? See what I mean? So that's why they told you that young Master Bao Yu only has 12 people in his faction, including yours truly. Well, I see your point, but we can't just... Let all of us board, yes. Our young master fully understands the moral conundrum you find yourself in, so we'd like to offer you this tiny, tiny token of appreciation. Sword produced some bills from her pocket and smoothly slid them into the palanquin bearer's own. Oh man, oh lady, you really should do this, I really should. Oh, and another thing, I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, but if a word of this gets out, things might get pretty messy for both of us, and that doesn't have to happen, does it? Indubitably, ma'am. I'm doing this purely out of the goodness of my heart after all. What's a free ride for the downtrodden, eh? Seems to me like the bloke's doing this purely out of interest in the fatness of his wallet. Alright. Stop gossiping over there and get on board. Wait. Are we leaving Pilot alone here? Pilot seemed to have noticed me staring in his direction. He stopped fidgeting with the radio and waved at us. Yeah, don't you worry about me and have a safe trip over there. I've got some stuff to handle on the outside. This design is more akin to an extravagant limousine than a palanquin. Oh, look, a bottle of champagne. Can I chug this? Of course not. Drinking while on a mission is... Okay. With a quick clap, Sword promptly put an end to the hubbub the unexpectedly flashy appearance of the palanquin caused. Her demeanor had shifted entirely into that of a calm and collected strategist, a far cry from the person who was chatting up a storm with the bear just a minute ago. Time to get to work, everyone. Emotional damage. Sword, она такая, да, попускающая. Then you'll... Wait, something's going on outside. Not long after Sword paused over Otis's remark, a grating speaker whine rang out, followed by the worried voice of the bearer on the other end. We're under attack! I thought things were going a little too easy. It's no surprise that other candidates are trying to eliminate us, just in case. Why am I not surprised? Oh, okay. Short and sweet.
자, 출발해 볼까요? 어우, 여기는 답답한데. 나도 나가서 싸우면 안 되나?
계약대로 하자고요. 편히 쉬시게.
Hydrate.
적에게 치명상을
난 попить воды.
관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한
Хорошая
능력을
идея.
가지고 있다. 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은
Всем
말을
приятного.
합니다. 쏘지 마!
잘 썰렸다.
깔끔한 결단력인걸?
이게 다친 짓은
아까의 공격으로 인해서 대상에게 많은 피해를
Okay, I should
입었다는 거지. 끝을 내도 될 것 같아.
connect like this.
직접 발견.
와, 성공했어. 보여? 개체가 더 이상
내놓고
움직이지 만들어보자.
속였어.
얼얼하지? 정신 못 차릴 거야. 비틀거리고 있는 개체가 보입니다.
어두운
이전까지 있었던 대부분의 관리자들은
여기가
이 타이밍에서 결정적인 일격을 지시하곤 했죠.
쓸모가 없지 않았군요.
맞는 거야.
그렇게 시원하게 처리하니 그런 맛이 나. 일 처리는 빠르게 하는 편이야. 답답한
그래, 딱 반쯤 죽여버려. 13조 2항에 맞추려면 그게 제격이지.
직접 알겠습니다.
직접 놓아주마.
방금 제대로 된 공격이 아니었는데 혹시 너희들 중에 매뉴얼을 제대로 안 읽은 사람들이 있는지?
직접 놓아주마. 단순해서도 어두운 부지를 열어줬지라. 물론 편히 좋은 성과를 갖고 돌아온 너는 발작자라는 걸
맞는 거야.
속에서 내 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
맞는 거야.
I should probably also turn off some of the commentators.
얼얼하지? 정신 못 차릴 거야. 사슬 완료.
좋아, 이번에는 제대로 들어갔고.
끝인가?
Kachinga.
남지 않았나?
He just said Kachinga.
그렇다면 어째서
Kachinga.
분노가 끝나지 않나?
Oh, more combat. I think this is just straight up combat, by the way. Okay, I've had enough of the Molar office. And I think I've had enough of this one.
뭐 해보자.
And well, to be fair, I've had enough of these two as well. Blood Fiends of La Mancha? Apparently those were an announcer? I didn't know. Where did you get these? I guess I don't know. I'll keep Angela. Angela yaps, but not too loud. Yeah, let's go.
사실 이런 보모 교실은 제가 아니라 세피라들의 역할이 되었죠. 관리자님도 알다시피 저는 수십 명의 몫을 해내고 있으니까요. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
어두운 무지를 열어줬지라.
Yeah, we're just kind of beating them up. Not much to talk about here, really. Palanquin Buster. He's busting.
이 안정감 있고 부드럽게 잡히는 푹신. 최상이군. 이런 푹신한 날은 안 풀리는 일이었지. 어두운 무지를 열어줬지라.
I'll put Heathcliff on a horse, though.
방송 공략은 좋았어. 이대로만 계속해보면 좋을 텐데.
Wait, did I mess up? No, I didn't. Yeah, we're good.
저들이 저녁만 쳤는지를 맡아보는 손님들처럼 비틀거리고 있네. 한 접시 근사하게 먹여줄까?
그래, 딱 하나쯤 죽여봐. 13조 이항에 맞추려면 그게 제격이지.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
Ding, 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 ding. Oh, 0 coins rolled. Nice.
적에게 치명상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
좋아, 이번에는 제대로 들어가.
전투 명예 따위에 기대하고 있는 건 아니겠지. 이 속에서 직접 밝혀주마. 이 속에서
어쩐 일로 진짜 도움이 되는 걸 걸치고 오셨나요? 이대로 몰아넣으시죠.
It's a long battle here.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
Even Hong Lu has 2 slots now.
더는 맛이 나. 일처리 빠르게 하는 그 답답한 법이지.
맞는 거야.
Bam, 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 ba-da-dam, ba-da-dam, bam, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
한 자는 죽어 떠난 자에 대한 축하를
We get rewarded for this with some story. Let's go.
엄숙한 애도를
대관왕 입성이요.
Entering Dagwan Yuan now. Despite some troubles on the way, it seemed that we managed to arrive at our destination mostly unhurt. Dagwan Yuan, Honglu's old home. Oof, we're running out of time. Faust, I'm sure you understood the most important part of my plan, right? It is unlikely to be a pleasant sight to behold. Remember, the plan hinges on your patience, everyone. You have to remain calm and wait, even if they freak out and actively try to kill you. There is a chance that they might panic and immediately order for the sinners to be executed on the spot. However, it is unlikely that the person whose responsibility is to judge the next family hierarch of Hong Yuan will make such a hasty response. Exactly. Everything's going to be fine as long as the decider has the capacity for patience. Execution? What? Great. I'll follow up with the subsequent contact once you've safely completed the first round of evaluations. After that cryptic exchange with Faust, Saud leaped gracefully off the moving palanquin as Heathcliff murmured in his half-sleep. We watched her grow smaller and smaller as the distance between us grew, but what really caught our eyes were the scattered humans the restructuring day had evicted from their homes. They were trying to drag their broken bodies off the road, sobbing and writhing. This is horrible. There isn't anything we can do to help, but... Such sense of futility and powerlessness will negatively impact the efficient performance of your professional obligations. Repeated exposure to similar stimuli is recommended to desensitize oneself to this sensation. Thank you, Merso. So, Honglu, how do you feel about going back home after so long? Sinclair changed the subject. I don't know. Don't really need to ask him, lad. I know it can't be easy. As for me, blimey, I hesitated almost 1,000 times, wondering if I should just turn around and leave. What if I knocked on these gates, but she... Heathcliff came to a suffocating stop, his voice trembling lightly as he did so. The other sinners stared at him in confused silence. What? What is it? Why'd you stop in the middle of a... Oh, wow, look at all these cool windows. I think we can swap them out with other images. I quickly tried to swerve from the subject again, but all I got was Ishmael's scolding glare that seemed to wordlessly tell me, not the time. I remember. I remember what happened each time one of us returned to the part of the city that held our memories. Memories of happiness, anger, sorrow, and joy. And as we traveled, I remember that they were all looking at sceneries only they could see. Rodya, you awkwardly tried your best to crack jokes. Sinclair, you tried your best to hold back the welling tears, again and again. You sang, you shut your eyes for a long, long time. Ishmael, you couldn't stop talking to yourself while glaring down at the lake's surface. And Heathcliff, I saw you scared and anxious, shaping your hair over and over again. You've really been watching us closely, huh? Did we? Spring leaves, petals scattered. Bro thinks he's Merceau. Yeah, real. And all shall turn around to find the doors to which they belong and return forevermore. I think everyone has a small mound of petals they've gathered for themselves. What? I don't. Why would anyone collect something like that? Then you simply haven't discarded them yet. There was still a transparent smile on his face, but I think I saw a burying, sinking shadow behind it. Oh. The moment I felt that, a familiar light came into view, and I immediately understood what was going on. The golden bow is close, and it is resonating with Honglu's fathoms. They watch the flower burial of mine and walk away. Who lays me to rest once I die? Oh, that's cool. They made it so that the petals drop on the thing. When spring passes, youth passes, as wrinkles shear it all away. Flowers pass, people pass, and ignorant they remain to where they hie. Why do you always recite these strange, complicated poems, Dayu? There are plenty of ways to remain young, aren't there? Because we needn't see the snow in our hair to know that spring will pass. Why are you cleaning up those fallen petals? Just float them away downstream. You'll get dirt on your hands. And be so wasteful? How will we hear the sound of falling rain once we sweep all the petals away? Ah, it's fucking artsy-fartsy bullshit. This is a remembrance of a rainy day, so I'm gonna treasure it. Besides, these beautiful blossoms will get so dirty in the stream if we let them float away. So please, don't scatter all the petals from your embrace, big bro Bao Yu. Honglu. Is there anyone you miss here at Daguan Yuan? No, there isn't. But how's that possible? Isn't your family here? And a bunch of other people who are so important to you? Well, as long as I believe them to be doing well. There isn't any need for me to yearn to see them again. Do you still treasure your petals? No, I scattered them all the day I departed my home. So my rainy days are now silent. I see. I don't see. You saw that, didn't you, Dante? You saw my memory. I did. Honglu laughed. He wasn't surprised or angry that I peered into his memories. Do you want to tell us about your parents? Or, yeah, you talked about your grandmother pretty often, right? What kind of people are they? Sinclair added carefully. Maybe he was trying to commiserate, tenuous as that connection might have been. We were headed to his home to meet his family anyway. Ah, they're both very wise in the ways of the world. Grandmother always treated me preciously. So did my mother and my father. Fucking Sinclair moment. We're almost there. I can see the garden. This is one massive garden. We still have some time before we get to the main buildings. I remember the days when deer and hares would frolic out here in the garden. Well, I can see myself taking a long walk around here. It'd take a whole day and then some to cover the entire ground. I usually lingered only around my own room. It's dangerous to stray too far after all. It's dangerous? Why? There's the stranger danger, getting lost, getting targeted. Besides, it's very dark at night. Well, that ain't a very big deal, is it? Kids run around, scrape their faces on the branches, trip and eat shite on the pavement all the time. I'm sure you would have run freely around the garden, Heathcliff, but it's important to always be careful. When I was 5, someone had lathered a deadly poison on a random tree branch. Poison? I had a little brother who liked to frolic like you do, Heathcliff. But by some coincidence, he happened to be running around the same tree that had its branches lathered with poison. What had transpired thereafter? He died. I'm sure he got better. Shiren told me he'll be just fine after 100 nights rest. And because Shiren was always so smart, I'm sure it happened exactly as she said. Yeah. Oh. Hey, Silver, welcome. Yeah. He was fine after 100 nights rest. No problem. Entering Narhuating now, Grand Flower Hall. It wasn't long before our arrival to a new place with Daguan Yuan was made known by the palanquin bearer's sonorous announcement. More buildings. What's Narhuating mean anyway? Grand Flower Hall. So you think you could call it a place for banquets? Oh, so you host banquets in this village-sized venue? Is that a lake over there? Nope, it's a pond. A pond? Damn. Once we arrive, we will find ourselves a welcoming party for Shichun and me. Rodya, you should be able to stuff yourself to your heart's content this time. It's been a while, hasn't it? I don't think I've been this excited in a long time. Girl's hungry. Whoa, is that a ship over there? You have a ship? Uh-huh, yep. We'd sometimes go out boating. Oh, and Shichun's building is right across that pond. You each get a building of your own? Yes, we do. So when I first departed from Hong Yuan, I found the concept of an entire family living under the same roof so fascinating. Alas, it would be quite the challenge for thy family to see one another. And that's exactly why we each get a building. Are we even talking about the same thing here? Yeah, I think they are. Alakfo, whoa! We could have barely enjoyed our vacaciones at young Honglu's residence all along? That wouldn't have worked, Don Quixote. When I left home, grandmother and the elders really impressed upon me that the footsteps shall eventually bring you home when the time is right. Thus witness, and only witness, as much of the world as you may before you make your return. Don Quixote always being silly? Yeah, true. The silliest. I was wondering when that would be, but time really slipped through our fingers, and just like that, it brought me here. Most sinners did not welcome their turn. Some of them were even terrified of it. Sometimes they had to confront what they'd been avoiding all their lives. And for some, important things that were once forgotten or lost were waiting for their return. But their reluctance is really not surprising at all. I don't think I would welcome an opportunity to get my memories back with open arms if it was thrust upon me out of nowhere, especially if I was getting dragged there against my will. But despite the fact that it couldn't be more obvious that his turn had arrived, Hong Lu was as tranquil as he always was. He's always been able to remain aloof, no matter what happens. Maybe it won't be different this time either. But even so, can I judge that so hastily? Young Master Maoyu of the Jia family has returned! Again, with the palanquin bearer's deep, full-throated pronouncement of our arrival, the door opened. Here we are. You must all be so tired. Come in, come in. Leaving behind the sinners who were still reeling from the astronomical level of opulence at display, Hong Lu bounced lightly off the palanquin and moseyed into the building. Quite the light-footed steps he take, unhindered by excitement nor trepidation. Right? Rich boy's got nothing to fear because he's used to this kind of poshness, that's all this is. Verily, this may be a subtle expression of the teensy part of him that longeth to see his family again. Once we all left the palanquin, I find myself beset by overwhelming vastitudes and objects of great magnitude. Yeah, you could just say everything is fucking fancy here. Just how many servants do they have? Ah, grandmother will visit us once Shu hour arrives. The banquet will start then, I think. Shu hour? The Shu hour refers to the time between 7 and 9 p.m. This is a unique time system used in certain regions of the East. In addition, it would be best to remember that Hong Lu's grandmother, Jia Mu, is the hierarch of Da Guan Yuan. It would not be an incorrect assessment to see her as the ruler of Hong Yuan. Your relative is the head of a wing, I see. Yes, though she'll be handing over that to their next heir pretty soon. Why now? What does she seek to achieve by abdicating at this precise time? Otis, as she probably saw an ulterior motive behind every move, inquired. She's been saying that her time would eventually come, that she's carried this responsibility for too long. I bet she'd be pretty shocked to hear that you'll be taking part in the family hierarch war. I don't know about that. Maybe she'll take it well. There's never been a reason for me to bother participating, but there wasn't a reason for me to not either. Huh? Hey, there's Shichun and Wei over there. Looks like they both arrived safely. Jia Shichun, who arrived before us, showed us the briefest glance before looking away with exaggerated disinterest. Shichun just turned her back on us. Well, it didn't take long for things to become super awkward. Oh, we must capture this opportunity to seat ourselves adjacent to young Shichun. Don Quixote, no, don't get excited about seating next to young Shichun. Haven't you seen all the fan art? Too late. We are forever banned from ever getting anywhere near her. Yet wherefore? We are no longer Jia Shichun's faction. Her hostility is to be expected. Things have changed. Us versus them. In-group versus out-group. Fan art? Yeah, there was a scene in the previous Intervallo where Shichun and Don Quixote... Well, Shichun was getting very close to Don Quixote. Like, very close. And people have been drawing fan art of that. Of course. It's the Carmilla you gift corroding her. Yeah. Deception and treachery are natural parts of war. An ally of today may as well become an enemy tomorrow. And that's a funny way to say I don't have any friends. What did you just... Ah, there are my parents. Wait, hold on, were you just walking right up to them? Blimey, at least tell us their names. Ah, father's name is Zhang of the Jia family. And in Daguan Yuan, they call my mother Lady Wang. Lady Wang. Naturally, yeah.
처음으로 인사 올립니다.
I greet you for the first time since my departure.
가시보
Bao Yu of the Jia family has returned home.
벌써 왔는데.
You're early.
보가
Bao, dear Bao Yu, it has been too many years.
오랜만에
To see you again after so long, it is so good to see your face. He's a lot more diplomatic than Dad. Dad's like a fuck off.
어떤 말부터
I don't know what I should even say. The father, Jia Zheng's eyes dart nervously between us and Hong Lu. Meanwhile, his mother gingerly brings him in for a careful embrace, as though she was in the presence of something so utterly, deeply moving. It was more than the pure joy of reunion. So they're Hong Lu's parents.
극진히 환영해 주시니 감사합니다.
Thank you so much for your hospitality. You have certainly spared no expenses.
그런데
So who are these people you've come here with?
대단한 숫자는 아니지만
While there aren't too many of them, they are my friends I made out in the world.
구하라고 소개하지
At least he's not introducing us as his lackeys like a certain someone I know. Oh wait, that's Hong Lu's mother slowly turns around to look at us. I mean, that's a weird thing to say, but somehow it almost felt like she was looking down at each of us one by one.
반가워요.
I'm so glad to meet you all. Bao Yu's always been such a stubborn child. I'm sure he was quite the handful to accompany on your journeys. I hope you can still embrace him despite every... Stubborn? Hong Lu? Whatever it was she said, they don't seem all too happy to hear that. Dear Bao Yu, why do you allow your friends to call you by that name? What of your noble, blessed name, bestowed upon you by the revered Jian Ren, our elders? What? What's going on with her? Hong Lu reached out and gently yet indifferently held his mother's violently trembling hands.
당연하잖아요, 어머니.
Of course I would, mother. Because the name is too noble indeed. Oh, yes. It is not a name that any rabble should so heedlessly speak. Of course, of course. Oh, do you also have an old name and a new name?
그거 있잖아.
Well, don't you remember? Back in T Corp, Wei called Hong Lu Young Master Bao Yu.
지난번
Also remember how he announced himself before the duel on the day we arrived at H Corp? He introduced himself as Bao Yu of the Jia family. I thought it was a pseudonym back then, though, given the circumstances. Well, it ain't like us calling your real name's gonna cheaten its nobility or whatever. It's just a name, so you can say it as many times as you want, and it won't depreciate in whatever value it has. But some people do actually believe that it does, I suppose. It was wise of you to refrain from using that name. Right. To let your precious name be known among the plebeian populace is to encourage knives and dark to strike. Even here, too.
당장 이곳 모친의 말씀대로
It is as your mother says. Were your true name to be made known, any individual with a passing connection to H Corp would have easily connected you to Hong Yuan. It is said that most names are repositories of their keeper's origins. In the eastern regions of the city, when their parents name their children, they imbue them with meaning. It carries their wish for the children's place and use in the world. Okay, so what does Bao Yu mean then?
뜻이 뭐지?
You, what's your name mean?
제 이름은
My name is a culminate. Dude, Ryoshu is asking the same question I am. Okay. Great minds think alike. It's just that, like the instant communication. My name is a culmination of wishes, not only those of my parents, but those of many more.
태어날 때부터
It means that I was born with a precious jade. Yeah, Bao Yu.
끔찍하군.
Awful. Hong Lu's better. He's trying to whisper. Names are weird like this? Yeah. I'll call the rich boy whatever I want to. If I'm ever forced to call him Young Master Bao Yu or some servile shit like that, I'd rather take a punch or two from the guy. I could feel the horrified gaze of the servants staring at us. I don't mind, so please continue to call me Hong Lu if you want.
귀빈들께서는 자리에 앉아
Please seat yourselves, honored guests. The food will be served soon. Huh? Oh, food is getting served. Oi, what's all this? Did they actually expect us to eat all this? I don't think I've ever been intimidated by food before. There was quite literally a mountain of dishes on the table. I was starting to wonder if the purpose of these dishes was more to flaunt their wealth than to feed us a reasonable amount of food. Of course.
이거 말이야.
What a feast! I can ask for refills, right? Huh? Yeah. How does Dante even eat? I don't think he does. He's got a clog head. I don't think he eats. But oh no, Rodion just eats for him. I think that's how he eats. Rodia eats for him. Anyway, what's up with those empty seats over there? Are we still killing time for some guests to arrive?
그건 아닐 것 같아요.
I don't think so. They're probably seats for my older siblings somewhere in Dagwan Yuan. They probably just didn't want to attend.
오늘은 저를
This is a banquet to welcome me, after all. I'm sure they believe it's a waste of time to attend. Man, they better be on some real busy schedule to miss this.
감옥께서 당도
Jamu, venerated be her presence, graces us.
감옥께서
Jamu, venerated be her presence, graces us. With the announcement, utter silence quickly devoured the busy hubbub of the banquet. Those who were still sitting quickly rose to their feet and bowed, while those who were standing knelt down on all fours, their backs bent so low that their foreheads were nearly touching the floor. And the woman walking out from between them, the crowd itself parting down the middle from her sheer presence.
아, 할머니가 오셨네.
Ah, there's grandmother. It was Honglu's grandmother, the family hierarch of H Corp and its chief executive director. Jamu's presence was at once warm, gentle, yet immense and overwhelming. I saw that message, Subaru. You can't hide from me. Like a personification of an insurmountable mountain. We are graced by your presence, Venerable Jiamu. Didn't mean to delete that. We are graced by your presence, Venerable Jiamu. What? Should we bow too? I don't think you could bow any lower with your face halfway in the bowl, so you should be fine, probably. She's surrounded by Heisho too, I think. Guys, everything's gonna be fine as long as we don't do anything stupid. As everyone was bowing before Jiamu, awed and humbled, only Honglu looked straight at Jiamu without bowing. Then he got up from his seat and walked toward her.
할머니,
It has been a while, grandmother.
도읍도련님.
Please ascend, young master Bao Yu. It seemed that a special permission was needed to even stand next to her, as Hongwu was allowed to approach her only after the servant gave him the go-ahead. Little Bao Yu, you must have walked and toiled tirelessly on your journey home.
그렇지 않아요.
Not at all, grandmother. I was able to learn so many new things thanks to everyone who treated me so nicely.
새로운 걸
Had you sought to master the art of learning, no master, regardless of pursuit, would have been out of your reach. You could have learned much in the halls of erudition from them. Yet the world taught from the sheets of paper are simply that, words on paper. We wish that you, dear Bao Yu, would learn more of the secular world. Do not let flow betwixt your fingers the time that is given to you.
I know this opportunity was more than what I deserved, grandmother.
I appreciate your return all the same, that you have deigned to return before me ere my abdication of the great responsibility.
Verily, it appeareth that young Honglu shine onto limb. Oh, she's got her mouth full. She's talking with her mouth full.
Verily, it appears that young Hong Lu shined on the Limbus company as a Gran Turismo of sorts. Mm-hmm. Gran Turismo? What's that?
Can the two of you stop babbling with your mouths full? Young masters of families most eminent are oft sent out of the world on a grand tour. Thus coined was this practice Gran Turismo, if thou wilt, before they are to commence their public activities. The purpose is to learn the varied experiences that cannot be gained from books, to grow familiar with the world outside. I hear that you have met with Chi Chun in the world not long ago. I have. A bright child she is. Limbus, yeah. Well prepared to take on the challenges of the family hierarchy evaluations, I presume.
맞아요.
I agree. I am sure Shichun will wisely overcome the trials.
Indeed. Have you paid visit to the revered elders then?
I will soon.
Lady Wang, ascend here as well.
With your mercy, Jiamu, of course. Honglu's mother hurried up to where Jiamu stood.
It must cause your heart great distress to have your one and only son depart his home to wander the world beyond the hedges.
Of course not, Jiamu. Oh, I'm simply so glad that my son, Bao Yu, has returned as a man who can now more than carry his own weight, and unarmed too. We're back to the beginning. Thus, dear Bao Yu, I don't mean to rush, but when are you planning to depart again?
아직 정해진 건 없어.
Nothing has been decided yet, Mother. I see. I am simply concerned that were you stay here to be prolonged, perhaps you might fade before your duties are completed. Complete your duties and return soon so that the agreement Jiamu has so graciously made for us is fulfilled, hmm?
Indeed. Lose not, forget not. You are our family's one and only Jade.
Fade? Yeah, they're just telling him to fuck off.
Dear Bao Yu, our peerless treasure, tarry not over long in this mundane world. Leave when the time is right and fulfill your worth.
그럴게요.
Okay, grandmother. Mother. Fade, maybe also they mean like as a jewel. Like as a jewel. Like he's their jewel and they're worried that he will fade. I don't know. It's a very pretty picture, by the way. This, like, Asian sort of Chinese gravure kind of style. He's literally a jewel because of his eye. What eye? You mean this eye? I didn't notice if he was... I didn't think he was... I mean, maybe. Anyway, let's go to the next one. More story. I thought the sinners were doomed to chew uncomfortably through this incredibly awkward meal, but Jiamu and her retinue of Heisho left the banquet hall quite promptly after the exchange. It was as though they had no more reason to remain here.
어찌하여
It is odd that they should inquire Honglu of his departure plans on the very welcoming of his return. Yeah, there's a lot of story in this. It's the big canto. Not an intervallo or anything. Right? One moment it appears they really care about him, and then...
아끼는 모습도 통상적인 가정에서
The appearance of that care for one's own child was also quite distinct and unusual compared to the typical display of emotional intimacy expressed in average households. Hey, Bao Yu. That's been an unfamiliar chipper voice. His eye is something special. He's the only character so far in his family with it, and it also changes color based off of how angry, violent, wrathful, or any other similar feelings he feels. Wait, it's real? Yaki! Wait, is it actually? Are you trolling me? Wait, I never knew this Honglu lore. Yo, it is real. He was born with a unique feature? No. It's just people speculating. But yeah, his eye is special. Oh, okay. I actually kind of didn't pay attention that he had a single eye. I see. Very interesting. Also, I am not familiar at all with the origin story of Honglu, so forgive my ignorance. That's when an unfamiliar chipper voice hopped jovially into our conversation. Why didn't you come see me first? I've been staying in the same building ever since you departed here, you know? Girl. Big sis Shue Bao Chai. It's been so long. You've come all the way to the welcome banquet to fill a seat? I appreciate that. Had I known you'd be coming home today, Bao Yu, I would have summoned everyone I could from Zhue family to see you too. Big bro Pan's really been itching to know how you've been doing. Yeah, sure he was. Chichun, who's been sitting in complete silence throughout the entire banquet, muttered quietly to herself. Who else have you greeted since you arrived today, Bao Yu? My parents and Jiamu. Really? So I'm your first then? She made a cheerful remark before leaning close up to his eye. Your jade is always so glimmering and pristine, Bao Yu. Look, I made myself a necklace in the same color as your eye and wore it every single day to constantly remind myself of you. Well, do you see it? That's not creepy at all. Oh, you have. Thank you for remembering me. So are you gonna introduce her to us, or... Hey, why couldn't we just let that nice reunion play out, man? Rodia stepped forward, unable to stand the curiosity. Oh, she's... Hi, I'm Bao Chai of the Zhue family. I have a very profound relationship with dear Bao Yu here. A very profound relationship? He's my betrothed, and I to him. He called her big sis. I'd say that's pretty profound, Oh? It's nothing to be surprised about. These profound relationships can be established effortlessly in the simple exchange of agreements between our elders. Hey, you could at least given us a hint. But I won't be married until I leave Limbus company, though. I just thought it wasn't relevant enough to share. They're not related unless they have the same family name. Yeah, but he called her Big Sis. So sorry about overhearing earlier, but you guys are Bao Yu's friends, right? I've been so curious to hear what kind of life Bao Yu lived down there. Care to share some tales of your journey with me? They just call everyone that? Alright, fair. Don't have stories for kids. Shoo. Why? But I love stories about bloodshed. Ah, one of Big Sister... See? Big Sister. Big Sister Bao Chai's pastimes was curating creepy stories of urban legends. Then maybe I'll share some. What about everyone else? I love adventure stories. Be careful what you wish for. Ah, I beseech thee to find a seat, for I shall now regale thee with a tale in which the adventure of most wondrous valor unfolds. Brace thyself, for this particularly old and terrifying tale features a big, scary bear lurking in a cavern. If you're finished with your meals, why don't we all go back to our residences? It's like One-san, but the Chinese. But they... People don't call everyone One-san. Like... In Japan, they don't do that. That's a stereotype. They only call One-samas their actual One-samas. And the Nisans, their actual Nisans. It's not like, oh, it's my big sister, but actually, it's my betrothed. Oh, wait. That's weird. That's weird, chat. You can't convince me. You're so angry again, Shichun. Last I heard, you lost much of your followers in a large battle, didn't you? I'm so sorry. I used more than 3 handkerchiefs, wiping my tears away upon hearing that news. So the Zhue's family is heard it too, huh? You're not wrong, but that's irrelevant to what I've brought to the family hierarch war. We can make it weirder? How? Always a big fan of your confidence, Zichun. It's a good look, you know. Oh, that reminds me. You better watch your back, Big Sis Bao Chai. Looks like Big Brother's Bao Yu's learned how to sink a knife into your back with that same carefree smile. What did she mean by you knifing people in the back? I just had a small falling out with Chichun, that's all. Ah, Chichun must have been trying to get you on her side, huh? Yeah, no wonder she wanted you on her team. Ba Yu's always excel at whatever he does without stressing out or losing that happy smile.
하다 보니까
It just kinda worked out that way.
좀 재수없는
I guess he can be a bit irritating like that, huh? Some people, though rare, are indeed like that. Oh, that reminds me, did you by any chance run into Big Brother Q?
오다가
나는 못 보았지.
I haven't, but they have.
만났어.
That's good. She placed her hand over her chest as though she just survived an incredibly dangerous accident before eyeing us anxiously.
그래서
So, what happened?
사이월을
I do know that he was trying to ally with Shi Yihua.
있는 사람
I mean, it didn't seem like anyone else was viewing that as an alliance other than Shi Yihua himself, but it must have been a pretty open secret among the candidates that Jia Chu was trying to ally with Shi Yihua. They cut Big Brother Yihua's head off when he was with us. Oh my. Horizontally or vertically? H. So this is his third time, huh? Yihua's really incorrigible. He never knows when to zip it and sit down. Well, Big Brother Chu, I had a feeling he'd be here when the family hierarch war begins. Everyone in Dagwan Yuan's heard that creepy song from the back streets, you know. I think did she just imply that it's not the first time his head gets cut off too? Gosh, things get so awkward and hostile here at Dagwan Yuan every time there's any mention of him. Well, I guess it's fortunate that he won't be coming after me once the competition begins. Yes? Okay, Pog. And why is that? Because I'm simply too charming and adorable to kill outright, of course. Besides, whatever Big Brother Chiu's goals are, they probably have nothing to do with the Jue family. I can see that. Bao Chai took a step toward Huang Lu and leaned in close to his face. Do you smell my fragrance still, Bao Yu? You have never reeked, big sister Bao Chai. What? Negative Riz. Ooh. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts to read. Yeah, that's about my reaction too. Bao Yu, I've always been and always will be residing at Heng Wu Yuan, Ginger Plant Court. Promise to pay me a visit before you leave. With that, she gracefully walked out of the room.
저희도 이만 돌아가는 게 어떨까요?
Well, how about we also start heading back? This place can get pretty dark around high hour. You, why'd you leave?
별거 아니.
It's nothing. She's just a big sis I used to play with when I was a child.
대관원에서 제게 친절을 보여주신
One of the very few in Dagwan Yuan who was nice to me. So where should we head to next?
그러게 이런 집이면
Good question. Just going by the scale of everything in here, it should be safe to expect something real ritzy, right?
제 손님으로 오셨습니다.
You're my guests, so you should be able to stay at my building within Dagwan Yuan.
그리 멀지 않아.
It's within walking distance from here. We should be there in no time, even on foot. You never reeked! You never reeked, Bao Chai. I'm dropping that line on my girlfriend. Hey, Mimi, you're in chat, right? Mimi. Mimi? I don't think she's here right now. Yeah? Oh, Mimi. You never reeked, Mimi. Ooh. Point left, point right. I'm sorry. Where is this game? Anyway, let's do a quick break from the story here, yeah? I'm gonna go extract. I want to extract. I want to get the. I want to see if we can get Greg. I'm gonna go to 50. I'm gonna go to 50. Not here. I kind of want the Hay Show packs though. Should I roll more? I can just get this. I just get him dispensed next week. Nah, it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna do it. Yeah, I'll just have him dispensed next week. All right. Second question: do we want to level up our characters? I could maybe level up the Heisho packs because I'm planning to use them. You probably are fine to not level them up for part 1. Wait for dispense. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for dispense. I just wanted to roll some for fun, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna start leveling up the Heisho IDs just like in advance because I do want to use them since we're gonna be getting other Heisho IDs, right? We're gonna be getting more. So we're gonna have Gregor, and then we're gonna have Faust, and I think one more. I forget who. So we're gonna have 6. We're gonna have 6 Heisho. I'm gonna run full Heisho pack IDs as soon as I can. All right, let's go back to the story then. It was a very short break, I know. Heisho Rodion. I already have Heisho Rodion. Rodion, Gregor, and then they teased Faust today, and I think someone else. 4 in game and Faust coming up. Oh, okay, so 5 then. Okay. Here we are. That was a pretty long walk. Still technically within walking distance, but... Hey, this place is called Yihong Yuan, Joyous Red Court. This room was made from... Sorry, I think I need to drink a bit. This room was made from the most aromatic flower tree within H-Corp. Try taking a deep breath and... Thank you for that, Pats. You can smell the lovely fragrance of flower aroma, pervading from the very tip of your nose. It's unique to this building. Very much so. It's an unseen, invisible thing, yet it retains much of its pleasant redolence. This place is huge too. You've been living here alone all along? Yes. I was told to stay in a larger room, but I preferred this place more. It has been long, young master. Jiren reporting. Oh hey, is she... Have you been well, Shiren? Yes. I am as I always have been. Jiren watched us emotionlessly as our rowdy crowd poured into the yard. Her expression did not change even when she saw Hong Lu, who presumably hadn't been home in quite some time. Are they young master's guests? I will guide them to their room. Please follow me. Now that we're here, I've got to pay a visit somewhere. I'll be back soon, though. Where wilt thou journey? Allow us to accompany thee. It's okay. Just on my way to say hello and pay my respects to the elders, so it'll be better if I go there alone. This way. Well, I guess I could say this about every operation, but the weight of our mission doesn't really sink in until we're actually there. You're talking about the family hierarchy war, right? Yeah, the other candidates have been preparing for this for years, while we have, what, an overnight? I don't know. I'm a procrastinate until the last minute kind of gal, so I'm pretty sure we got a handle on this. This is not the first incident in which you were demanded to work through a task in an unfavorable, inequitable situation. Why does it matter? Our goal isn't to claim the throne of the family hierarchy anyway. A few hours ago. Well, isn't it such a relief that our goal isn't to come first place in the family hierarchy war? Dost thou mean us to say we needn't be the first? Last minute war preparation. Yeah. Yeah? Obviously. Why would we want a sinner to become the head of H-Corp?
Wouldn't it not provide a much more reliable means of control to plant an individual of this company at the highest seat of a wing instead of letting an unaffiliated individual assume it?
일이 그렇게 간단한
There's a lot more going on behind the scenes, guys. Besides, LCB still has much left to do as the LCB. Then, would I be right to assume that this isn't a winner-take-all kind of situation here? Do other candidates get something for participating too?
가주 심사에서 10등 안에 든 사람은
Anyone who places within the top 10 will gain the right to take one item of their choice from the family treasury. Of course, the one who places the highest goes first.
하지만 2등 안에는
But we're going to have to come in at least second place in order to ensure that we obtain the item we're looking for. No, that's weirdly insulting. Thought it. Why don't we just shoot for the top anyway?
못 보던
Your
사이에
confidence seems to have gone through the roof since our last operation together. Well, we did go through a lot of crazy stuff.
그리고
Anyway, scared to guess what's deep inside Hong Yuan's gargantuan treasury?
방금 거죠.
The golden bow.
네?
Right on. Buried in the middle of all kinds of other treasures, along with any knowledge of its true value.
그래서
So, Faust, what did Manager Sod share with you as our strategy for the first round?
정이라는 걸 그러고 보니
I very much wish to know that as well, but the suggestion of mutual understanding seems to exist exclusively betwixt Miss Faust and Sod.
가주 심사 1차전의 내용은
The first round of the family hierarchy evaluation
대관원의 어르신들을 위해 준비해왔던
tests what the descendants have prepared and brought for the elders of Hong Yuan. What the descendants have prepared, huh? So this must be what Jia Chun has been referring to this whole time.
네.
Yes, to be free from aging and death, immortality.
즉
Each candidate is what?
진정한 불로불사란
Each candidate is to present an answer before the judge to demonstrate their idea of true immortality. Right, so what's the answer to true immortality then?
그건 파우스트도
YouTube has blessed me with the ability to chat. Welcome, middle little brother Sinclair. Not even Faust can answer that. What are we even doing here?
다만 진정한 불로불사
But we may be able to demonstrate a facsimile of immortality, or at least pretend as though we are close to the answer. Been trying for a bit. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm glad you're here though.
답을 원하는 건 그들이니
Given that they are the ones who are seeking that very answer, they will not disqualify us, Hong Lu to be exact, from the competition. I see. They will cling on to whatever clue they can get their hands on, so we'll be using that desperation.
그렇습니다.
Precisely. That important looking old bad job Moo favors him, don't she? Maybe she'll give him bonus points or something. So that's what we'll be using Hong Lu for.
그건
That is...
맞아요.
Yes, you're right. It is my turn to be used. Whoa! Whoa, bro, calm down. When is my turn to be used? I mean... Whoa! When did you get back? Hong Lu nonchalantly chimed into the conversation, having slipped in between us unnoticed. Hey, you're back pretty soon, huh? Unfortunately, what Otis just said could sound quite crass depending on how you cut it. Hong Lu, you don't have to. Don't mind what she just said. But why would I mind it? My use is to be a ticket to participating in the Hierarch War. The only option for obtaining the Golden Bow in H-Corp. She didn't say anything wrong. Your use. Well, if you'll be using me, hopefully this will lead to an outcome we can all be happy with.
모두가 기뻐하기
Verily, such outcome would be best, yet young Shi-chun hath already exhaled with great gusto out of her nostrils before turning away from our party when our eyes met.
시춘이하고는
Well, Shi-chun... Onglu's eyes twinkled briefly, as though he was shifting into a dream.
다시 사이가
I
좋아지고
didn't think it was possible for me to be friends with Shi-chun again.
비록 지금은
We're back to not being on speaking terms again, but
잠깐이라도
it was as though I'd
꼭
gone back in time, back to when we were both children.
이제는 까마득
But we can't go back to the past.
방금
What did you say? Are you drunk or on something? Did you really just say that to me? Now, what a stupid thing of me to ask. You've never been drunk in your life. Your mind's always been so damn clear. None of this matters to you, does it? Even when I get angry at you or when I shout at you like this, none of it gets to you, does it? Just what happened to you that day? How can someone become so... Shichun,
됐어 마음대로 해.
Forget it. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. It's my fault for expecting to have at least one normal sibling in this messed up family. In that memory, Hong Lu
was wearing a quiet smile, even before her hushed anger. But don't you want to be friends with her again?
결국 사람과의
At the end of all things, these connections between people, they're just moments, ephemeral things.
그러니 저희
So what I want doesn't matter.
큰 상관
Honglu, a sinner so aloof, so detached that it feels as though he's always floating through the clouds. I once thought that was just the kind of guy he was, someone who just happened to be above everything that's happening around us, instead of just another messed up person with messed up problems of their own. But slowly and gradually, I had begun to realize there was something off about him under the surface. Honglu, about participating in the family hierarch war. Do you really not feel anything about it? Have you completely excluded yourself from it?
네.
I don't, and I have.
하고
It's just the way things worked out, right?
관리자님
Executive Manager, it is true that his value judgment will have no tangible influence on this company's direction.
질 수는 없을 겁니다.
파우스트도 동의.
Faust is in agreement. Sinners do not have the right to refuse their missions.
그건 사실일 테고
That may be true, yet
마음의
I find it unnecessary to turn away and neglect the suffering conditions of their hearts, stemming from the obligation to their missions.
마음의 상태
Conditions of our hearts, but perhaps unnecessarily peering into them, is how we beget suffering.
그것이 무슨
What manner of...
이곳
Back then, when I lived here in Dagwan Yuan,
제게는
so many choices passed before my eyes.
다른 가문
Should I kill that child who was from a different family? Should I even survive? Should I walk past that dying boy, or should I stop to help him?
그냥 처음에는
When they were first presented to me, I tried to make a choice.
하지만
But it didn't take long for me to realize that my choices meant nothing.
시간이 걸리래서 저는 어떤
So I decided not to choose at all.
답답합니다. 그게 지금의 저의
And that's me as I am now.
림버스 컴퍼니
There were so many wonderful things about joining Limbus Company, but
지만 제가 무언가
I think my favorite part of the experience was that I was never given a choice.
조금
That's definitely kind of weird.
어라?
Oh,
여기가 조용해졌네요.
looks like things have gotten weirdly quiet around here.
사담은 여기까지 하도록 하죠.
That was enough discussion of private matters. There's much ground for us to cover.
그럼
Let us begin by discussing our plan for the first round.
말씀드리죠.
Next morning. There's still some time until we have to leave.
밤에는 잘 보이지 않았지만
What may be the purpose of these scarecrows, veiled in nocturnal shadows they were at yesternight?
아, 아직도 있었나?
Oh wow, they're still here!
이곳에 자제들
There are training courts next to every building where children of these places live.
걷고 뛸 나이
Here, every child of walking, running age, all get to play with these dummies.
놀이라.
Play. Early education is important.
교육은 수업이랑
Yet how doth one play with these dummies? And it appeared that this dummy is adorned with the most dashing piece of fashion for its head. Ah, that's the first dummy I received when I was 7. Back then, I thought even dummies could feel pain when struck. Such was the blissful rumination of all those who were once children.
그럼 여기에 태어나는
So is it like tradition for kids born here to formally learn how to fight? Oh, not exactly. Oh,
이번에 할머니가
so this is what grandmother gifted you, big bro?
맞아.
Yep.
그런데
I don't know how it works though.
잘 모르게 옷 같은 걸 입혀주거나
It must be a doll or an effigy for dress up. Or perhaps you can adorn it with some trinkets?
보호형 집을 지켜
Maybe it's got like a guardian spirit that protects your house, big bro Bao Yu. Oh boy. Here, let me show you how it's done. Why did you punch Grandma's gift? Don't you think you're hurting it? Hurt it? Really now? This wooden thing?
이렇게 자라나야 살아남을
It's more that they have to grow up this way if they want to survive.
생각보다 제대로 된
This WTD isn't so bad. This way to... A wooden training dummy. Okay. This wooden training dummy appears to have been designed and crafted with some precise engineering craftsmanship. We still have some time until departure, so why don't we try using them for a warm-up exercise? Nah, I don't want to get all sweaty, though. Well, it's not like these things will pose any danger. I think we can try them out once, just to see how we're doing today. Attention! We have orders from the executive manager. From this moment forth, we will put all into laying utter ruin to these training dummies. Hey, I didn't even give an order. Oh well, you won't get It won't hurt to get our blood pumping now. All forces, charge! Are we fighting training dummies in this battle?
오늘도 즐거운 하루의 시작이네. 그렇지?
We are.
볼륨 좀 확인해 볼게. 대답 소리가 잘 들리지 않아서.
What the fuck? Oh, I'm fighting with these? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Oh shit. Alright, I guess we go. By the way, you get to use 7 sinners during this canto. Oh, that's cool. Long time coming, by the way. I mean, at some point we're probably gonna get to use all of them, right? All of the sinners. All 12. And Dante, 13. Dante's also gonna be on the battle.
저들이 편하게 잠들 수 있도록 침대볼을 깔아주자고.
의지한 실력을 좀 내시네요. 평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
It technically all 12 did appear in the April Fool's event. Yeah, exactly, but that was April Fool's event and not real, and Dante dreamed about it. It was just Dante's dream. And also he wasn't a part of it. He wasn't in the fight. But I want him to be in the fight too.
상을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 가지고 있다고 제가 늘 말씀드렸죠.
딱 반쯤
저는
죽여버려.
언제나 옳은 말만
13조
한답니다.
이항에 맞추려면 그게 체격이지.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요. 와, 이거 잘 활용하면 우리한테 유리하게 될 수 있겠는데?
Giga killing these dummies. Let's go. Dumb dummies. Dumb dummy dumb dummy dummies.
자, 다들 팔 걷어붙이고 저들이 편하게 잠들 수 있도록 침대볼을 깔아주자고.
But you know, guys, I'll reveal the secret. I'm actually the dummiest of dummies. They're compensating for Shichun not being here. Yeah. Enjoy fighting dummies? No, I am the dummiest of dummies. That's what I am. Dummy fighting.
적들이
Yep.
치명상을 입은 상태네. 자, 다들
I mean,
붙이고
we can keep this team. This team doesn't go that bad so far, and I think I've only used it once for a mirror dungeon. Aww, Mimi. Thank you, making me flustered on stream. Wow.
여러분들
How long? How much more is here? Sorry, I guess? No. Don't apologize for that. That's cute. How much longer is this? You know, it says something when actual dummies are higher level than previous enemies. I mean, the enemies were outside. We are in Dongyuan Dongbin Yuan. Whatever this place is called.
두려움을 모르는 건 나쁘지
Oh, it's a different one.
않고 무식하게
These ones got no hats. These ones got no chill, I think. Is there a boss dummy? They should add a dummy boss.
사실 이런 고무고실은 제가 아니라
이상
세피라들의
승리를
19 levels total for part 1.
관리자님도 알다시피 저는 언제나
You have 6 more fights levels of cost energy. All that is just story. Oh, okay. Just needed it for evaluating like how much time I have to allot for this stream. I think we should be done in an hour then. We finally get a skill called Slash that is actually Slash in this Kanto. Oh my god, ain't no way.
유리한 환경이 되었네. 잘 됐다.
Ain't no way.
끝내지. 괜찮은 공격이네요. 앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
On who?
적에게 치명성을 입혔군요. 관리자님은 당신이 생각하는 것보다 대단한 능력을 갖추고 있다.
Contraataque!
말씀드릴게요. 저는 언제나 옳은 말만 한답니다.
Nice. As written.
이제야 실력을 좀 내시네요.
Good job, Honglu.
평소에도 이러면 얼마나 좋습니까?
Show him how it's done. Dude, I love how I love the animations on the Heisho pack identities. How they get like faster and like they zoom. They go shoo shoo. Heisho Faust looks fire. Yeah, she does. I saw the trailer earlier. It was great. Call me a weeb, but I really like those like, you know, kind of moves, like swishy, swishy, splashy moves. They're very cool. Pretty sure it's Zilu Faust. She did name herself, I think. Like there was a name for the pack, but I'm not sure. Oh, you mean like no. It's not the name of the pack. Yeah, Zilu is the character from the previous intervalo. Maybe, yeah. Blink step. I wish Ryoshu would blink step on me, Ubu. How refreshing. Well, I guess morning workouts really do wake you up.
매번 큰일이
We've gotten so used to getting into tussles before we get to the real meat of the missions that mornings feel incomplete without some action. Nevertheless, this was a meaningful warm-up activity. Rodia and Gregor Heisho IDs are fire too. Yeah, I got the Rodia one today on the extraction. I'm gonna probably get Gregor on the dispenser next week. So I've been meaning to ask Honglu, why did you never consider participating in the family hierarchy war before? It seems to me that all your other siblings have been waiting and training all their lives for this event. It's simple. Because I never once thought I wanted to be the family hierarch. Is it not truly most fortunate? Had you not been born with the jade, my son, you would have had to toil all your life preparing for the family hierarch war, just like your other siblings do. You needn't waste your strength on those things. To win the favor of the elders in Jammu, venerated be their blessings. Apparently Gregor Optai's story has Rodia flirting with him and he doesn't get a hint. Aww. Simply, witness as much of the world as it has to offer, jade of our family. My precious son, Bao Yu. More memories. What's wrong, you son? You seem kind of distraught. It is to do with the plan Miss Faust had explained to us last night. I find the plan rather detestable. Me too. But Honglu said he's okay with it, so... Can we even call it a plan if we're being honest here? It matches the definition of a plan, given that it illustrates certain instructions to be followed for the purpose of achieving a defined goal. Thank you, Marcel. Valuable input. Next Kanto is Ryoshu? I don't know. Maybe. And please remember that there are no second chances in the family hierarchy war. Well, yeah, actually, we were kind of going that way. So yeah, next Kanto should be Ryoshu. Actually, no. We hadn't been going. Because we've gone... Gregor... Kanto 9 is Ryoshu, Kanto 10 is Merceau, 11 is Otis, 12 is Faust. You guys already know the exact order. I mean... I'm just spitballing things. Nice. Yeah, Ryoshu Kanto is gonna be fire. I hope. Anyway. Let's go through stage 1 of the plan, I suppose. Young Master Bao Yu and his 12 companions arriving at Tubi Tang. We entered the hall where the first round was to be held. As always, the servant by the gate announced our arrival with a resounding holler we'd grown to expect. Mami Ryoshu Kanto? Yeah. True. Awuga. An arena or a stadium, I see. We have many eyes on us. We have many eyes on us, executive manager. I looked up to see that the audience seats, which were brimming with people, were divided into stair-like terraces, and on a platform at the opposite end of the hall, 3 shadows of chairs could be seen cast on the obscuring curtain fabric. As for us, we followed the attendant's guidance and stood next to the other participants in the circular area in the center. So are the evaluations happening past those curtains? You? See someone you recognize? No, it's nothing, Dante. Even if we were to meet again, we don't really have anything to talk about anyway. Maybe we'll have another chance later, if fate wills it. Oh hey, I think it's finally getting started. The curtain slid open, and the old woman we saw from yesterday's banquet walked out to the platform. Many scores ago, I ascended to the seat of Jiamu with a stroke of fortune. Yet a lifetime has passed since I assumed this great responsibility. Such as it is, I seek to abdicate and walk the path of mountains and streams as a river does. With the seat voided, the responsibility seeks the one with the qualities of the family hierarch to fill it. And the real question is, does she have an actual kid like in the source material or not? I have no idea about the source material. Like, I feel so uneducated, but I haven't actually read any of the source material. Well, no, that's lying. I did obviously read, like, the Odyssey, and also I do know, and Moby Dick, and I do know about the Wuthering Heights, and, like, some other things as well, like Don Quixote, but none of this Eastern stuff. Honglu, Ryoshu, complete mysteries for me. Got no idea what the fuck they are about. Thus here at Daguan Yuan, a collective upheld by pillars of 4 great houses of Jia, Zhu, Wang, and Qi, we once again ask you the perennial question. Have you brought us aught to prove that the answer indeed exists? Who's the woman next to her? Ah, she's my oldest sister, Dix's Yuan Chun. She's married a very important person in Q-Corp and spends most of her time there. Looks like she's visiting for the event. Though I have resided long in a foreign nest, I now return fleetingly to share the love with my flesh and blood, to fulfill my duties as observed by the order of filial piety. I return that the truth shall be observed to the best of my abilities. Some of you may have walked a late path gentle to your feet, yet some of you may have struggled through an unlaid, brutal path of cracked mountains 1,000-fold to find your answers. Very beautiful characters, this Kanto? Yeah, I know, right? This is a beautiful outfit. And the grandma, too, was great. And the father is like, okay, I guess. Yet, regardless of the severity of your suffering, all of you equally have but one opportunity for the first round. Even still, you were all once prospective heirs of the great house. Even your failures shall bring power and prosperity to Daguan Yuan. Now come forth in the order you are summoned, and demonstrate the invaluable answers to the question of the 3 freedoms. One from aging, one from death, and one from brevity of life. If the nature of your answer be indemonstrable, present ironclad proof. Lose not and discard not. Let fresh youth be unending and eternal. After their respective speeches, Jia Yuanchun and Jiamu disappeared behind the curtains atop the platform. First candidate. It seemed that Honglu's father assumed the role of the host for the first round. Ren of the Wang family. Wang Ren, the first to be summoned, walked up to the platform. Behind him was his faction, who were dragging someone by a rope toward the platform. Hurry up, foolish thing.
What? Who are they dragging up to the stage? Whoever it is, they clearly don't want to be here. They'll be free from aging and death, huh? I suppose every wing dreams of escaping and rising beyond the body they were born from. They were born with. Each corpse's pursuit of immortality probably isn't special in that regard. He hath brought a blood bag. That's when we were finally able to recognize who the candidate dragged up to the stage. The eyes unfocused and red, mouth slick with drool dribbling down the mouthguard, meaningless snarling. Hong Lu's father is typical cultivation man. Would that look? Yeah. That is a mindless blood bag. How does a blood fiend become an answer to immortality?
일반 사람들의 시선에서는
In layman's eyes, blood fiends may appear to have truly attained freedom from aging.
저희는 이미
However, as we are now all aware, blood fiends can grow old and weak after a prolonged period of blood deprivation.
침착한데
Thus, it is unlikely to provide the answer they seek.
한참
After some struggle, the blood bag was dragged kicking and growling past the curtains atop the platform. Not even an actual blood fiend? Yeah, it's just a blood bag. So that creature is the fabled blood fiend then.
저걸로 되게
I doubt that will do the job. Blood fiends would indeed be quite the esoteric knowledge, but to the judges of this contest, I doubt they're anything more than lukewarm trivia. A Wang kid must have been pretty desperate, huh? He's either lazy as bulls, or that boy ain't riding me upstairs. It appears that the knowledge of blood fiends is oddly common amongst this ilk.
본래 혈기는
Indeed, blood fiends are present in every nest. 'Tis little surprise that those privy to arcane knowledge are well aware of their existence. After a brief moment that lasted less than a minute, Wang Ren and his faction emerged from behind the curtains and descended from the platform. It's a good thing we have our token blood fiend in the group. Yeah, technically speaking, everywhere we go, we're gonna have a blood fiend. Ooh. Wang Ren, candidate of the family hierarchy evaluations. Stand up on the podium and await your judgment. Then they ascended the round podium behind the platform as ordered. Thus announcing Wang Ren's results for round 1 of the family hierarchy evaluations. Elimination. No! Listen, all they need is blood. As long as you supply them enough blood, they will be eternal and everlasting. Venerable Jiamu, please!
아니
Nay,
영원하지
what awaits them is no eternity at all. Verily, I know not the shape of this true immortality the evaluation seeketh to attain, yet
피해 종속되어
the longevity of a blood fiend, shackled by blood and endless suffering, is unlikely to be one. What? But those damned hunters told me they still retain all their memories. To become a blood fiend is to surrender all the desires and emotions that exist within thy being for a singular hunger for blood and only blood.
끝없이 불행한
Perhaps that is an acceptable condition for those that expect nothing but fathomless torment for the rest of their lives.
혈기가 되려 말하는 것은
Yet, for those with much to lose, with much in life they cling on to, as those present seem to.
불러볼 수 없는 것이 아니라
The fate of a blood fiend is no freedom from aging and death.
피해 노예
'Tis but a sanguine shackle to enslave their minds. Don't saying that like she isn't the exception. I mean, I don't think she is. She is the exception, though. She kind of like has some memories of her past life. Isn't it brief though? Like very brief. Basically, we know about Don Quixote or Sancho is that her life before the blood fiendness was just shit. I think I remember that. Something like that. There's not much about her memories, though. A member of Bayou's faction has given an excellent reply. No further elaboration is necessary. And you have failed to bring us a high kindred, let alone a blood fiend at all. This creature is but a miserable blood bag. I cannot even well commend your efforts. Here, Ren of the Wang family, they have spoken and mercifully given you the full explanation of your mistake, a privilege that failed candidates do not deserve. Let this be the final blessing of your life. She doesn't have the same instinct hunger for blood like regular blood fiends. True, but that's also kind of, not her own doing? Isn't it? It's kind of like a part of her, like, Rocinante deal. Ah!
The podium suddenly opened under their feet, casting Wang Ren and the blood bag to its depths with the blood-curdling screech. So that's what happens when you fail to pass.
이거 그냥 극적인
That was for dramatic effect, right? There's gotta be like a side path leading back upstairs, right? Yeah, but that does make her an exception. True, I guess technically, yeah, technicality. That's funny. That's funny. This reminds me of the show The Weakest Link. You know, like on the television, there was a show The Weakest Link. You probably have seen it. We've had like a Russian version, like a clone. Cartoon AH Hopeful. Yeah. So The Weakest Link was like you answer questions, and then if you fail to answer, you're declared the weakest link, and then like they drop you down a hole. But like obviously it's a TV show, so they just kind of like drop you down into the shame room where the interviewers ask you like if you have anything else to say as your final words, and then they just leave. I mean, I don't know, maybe they shoot them behind the scenes, who knows. But anyway, when I was a kid and watching that show, I always like thought that they just drop down to their death. Like it doesn't matter. They drop down and they die. And then I made a Lego set, which was a recreation of a TV set. And I was like, I'd be playing with Lego toys and I'd be like, "You're the weakest link," and then I'd drop them down a hole and be like, "Ah!" Anyway, sorry. Tangent. Of course not. Can't you smell the stench of festering pain rising like heat from the depth? Ryoshu, you've been honing your sense of humor, huh? These are some pretty nasty jokes, though.
저 발판
Where does that hole lead? Judging by the time between the drop and the sound of the fall, I presume it goes quite far down. It probably leads to a place with lots of old family secrets. Well, not treasures, of course, but trying to figure that out might get you a visit from a hay show, probably. Big yappin', always big Igonia. Thank you. I love the yap.
준비했네요.
They went all out with the theatrics, huh? Yeah, and we could very well be the ones screaming and falling down a hole later. The next candidate was summoned before we were able to shake off the initial shock. Second candidate hails from the Jouet family. We sat through a few more names and subsequent failures. We couldn't hear what exactly they were talking about beyond the curtains, and unlike the very loud and obvious blood bag, the answers other candidates brought were less obvious, so all we had to go on were the shadows of their desperate attempts to explain things before the judges. Another one. BHA. BAH. It means boring as hell. The longer we watched the death bell rise, the less shocking they became. Are they planning to fail everyone? 8th candidate, Bao Chai of the Jouet family. What? Oh my, look, we know her. She was technically our competition, but it seemed that she managed to give the sinners quite the positive impression with yesterday's brief encounter. Some of them were even cheering her on. We couldn't see exactly what it was that Jouet Bao Chai brought, but she was also holding something as she entered past the curtains. Bao Chai of the Jouet family. After her brief meeting with the judges, which going by the shadows cast in the curtains appeared to have gone better than we had expected, she emerged. And as soon as she did, Bao Chai immediately turned in our direction, at Hong Lu to be exact. Wah, Bao you were watching me? And began excitedly waving her hand. She passes. The podium beneath her remained shut. Passing connection it may have been, yet I ill wish to see a familiar face be claimed by the abyss. Thus, I am glad. 17th candidate, Jia Shichun of the Jia family. It's Shichun's turn. He slowly ascended the platform unaccompanied. She held in her hands a tightly sealed gourd bottle. Looks like she found it. She found the water from the river we saw in Don Quixote's memories back then? Impossible. She reached Lethe?
정말 그곳에
The possibility that she actually reached there in person is infinitely minuscule.
물론 충분한
There is an infinitesimal statistical possibility that she could have reached the river, yet not even Faust can conceive how someone of their capabilities could reach the fountainhead of one of the deepest fathoms. This becomes even more impossible when considering the relatively short passage of time since then and now.
모종의 방법을
A more likely explanation might be that she obtained the waters by collecting its dew, or a portion of what has seeped out. Alas, that river's water serveth only to put to slumber one's memories. Pray, doth it truly hold a link to the immortality they seek?
네.
Yes, it is likely connected to the immortality of the mind they pursue.
그 정보를 알고
As there are but an extremely small number of people privy to the knowledge of the rivers, if the contents of the bottle are genuine, Past expects her to pass. Jichun of the Jia family passes. You have brought before us a priceless treasure. You must have taken unparalleled efforts to obtain this, given the meager size of your clan.
감사합니다.
Thank you, big sister Yuanchun. As Fast expected, all three judges appeared quite satisfied by what Judge Shichun brought before them. That's my talking muscles are hurting. Encore. Why is the next one called Encore? Hello?
정리를 시작하겠어.
Next, 18th candidate. Bloody hell, just how many people are there in this household? One of the Jia family. Our first meeting with that man was less than amicable, and I had a strong feeling that another one wasn't going to do anything to improve that. Jia Huan walked up to the platform. We all fell silent, hearing a familiar name. Bastard. I could feel that some sinners were growing tense, some of them even gritting their teeth. And the other man, closely following Jia Huan. You got any water? I have to go, but I want to make sure you aren't drying your vocal cords out. I have water, don't worry. It's okay. People in the Twitch chat have been hydrating me as well. And the other man, closely following Jia Huan, holding what looked like the egg of an abnormality, was also a familiar face. I'd seen him many times in Yisang's memories. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I actually need to refill. Dante, are you seeing what they're wearing? Oh, they're wearing the ego gears. Ego gears. It can be speculated that they have either developed their own method of extraction or have scavenged them from a lobotomy corp. Kubo carries what appears to be an egg of an abnormality. Are they planning to just offer them an abnormality egg? How's that an answer to anything?
해석의 여지에 달렸지.
While there is room for interpretation, some may represent a reasonably argued interpretation that abnormalities are entities that neighbor immortality.
어떤 환상체의 알인지
So the linchpin of their success hinges on which abnormality's egg that ends up being. It's their Fluchschütze, the red one, and Spile of Contempt, the ego suits. Yeah.
하지만 제가
If it's Big Brother Jia Huan I know, he's never going to risk his life for something he thinks will fail. One of the Jia family passes the first evaluation. Yeah, it's definitely Contempt. Contrary to most of our wishes, Jia Huan managed to pass the first round as well. Many more candidates came and went. One of them carried a massive, mysterious coffin. Flying away. One of them brought a thick book, and one of them presented a cage so tiny that we couldn't see what was within. Some of them managed to pass, while some of them went sent screaming into the mysterious abyss. As we have waited and watched the candidates come and go, people from N-Corp, their turn complete, approached us.
아직 황혼이 되기에는 이른 시간
Yet early it is for twilight to arrive. Thus, early too is this meeting of ours. As if to prove his own words back at the LCE, that he's come to accept certain things as they are, Yi-san coolly regarded his old friend who was now working for N-Corp. You must find this small and barren respite of yours quite enjoyable. I have not seen you just as you do now since the League fell. For what do you now approach me? The rift is too great betwixt us to chatter on with any affection to speak of. Do not mistake my intent, for it wasn't I who desired to approach you. My teammate simply wished to have a look at his brother's face, and I thought I might as well see how you are faring.
다주대전이 열리니 모두들 대건
Looks like everyone's coming back to Dagwan Yuan now that family hierarch war started, brother. This is our first meeting since then, right? If it isn't a doltish fool who has eyes but knows not how to see, I know you well enough. You'd normally turn purple with aversion upon hearing even a brief mention of the word hierarch. So why are you here?
저 냄새는
Who are you and your stinking entourage working for this time? Is it that Jue girl, blinded by your looks to the revolting rot within? Or is it Shichun, who still defends you and your meaningless, profound spiel, deluded in her belief that you're still the same boy from her childhood? Why didn't you save him? No. Let me ask you a different question. Why did you save her? And only her, Jiabao Yu.
형,
Brother,
사람은
humans die.
필요 않고
It's what they're born to do.
곧 다음 심사가 시작되는
The next candidate will be judged soon. Candidates must return to their seats. Ooh, there's some backstory. Hey, you're a servant. You're barely even a living thing. Let us return. This discourse will not bear any fruit. What's this, a reunion party? That sure sound things. Those shameless bastards. It's obvious they're here to nick our things again. Maybe, but something about them feels different today.
어느 쪽이든
Whichever is the case, the safer option would be to place higher than them. Another one falls. His family has to be watching this, right? I wonder if they'll be okay. Sinclair mutters, watching another candidate pull down the trapdoor. I can't imagine how anyone would be okay watching their own fall like... Sinclair, the people sitting behind us. They're his parents, the guy who just fell. We raised that failure as our own son? What a pathetic disappointment.
그래도
Don't worry, I have faith in our third child. I mean, it's not like we expected anything from this one, right? Now I see what it means to dedicate your whole life to becoming the family hierarch. Many people desperately vie for the seat of family hierarch. Of course, some of them, like his parents, hope to have their friend or a close blood relative become the family hierarch instead. So they seek to seize a lifetime's worth of riches, power, and recognition by planting someone they can control in the family hierarch seat, without becoming one themselves.
그렇게 만든
That kind's got a low shelf life. Looks like I finally got to know how my long-lost siblings are doing, thanks to this unforeseen opportunity. 27th candidate, Pan of the Jue family. What? Jue? Pan? Have we heard that name before? Ah, he's Big Sis Bao Chai's older brother. Jue Pan walked up to the platform, holding what appeared to be a large jar with multiple talismans plastered over it. Sinclair being the only person in the city with a normal and happy family, I mean, before they all died. Yeah, and it was his fault that it happened too. Fucking dumbass.
눈빛이 뭔가
Hey, is it just me, or does that guy look like he's totally up to something?
여기 안 그런 사람
Let's be honest, who here doesn't? Yeah, but that sort's different. He's... Instead of ascending to the platform and into the curtains, he walked up to the podium. Mate, it looks to me he's completely lost the plot. Oh, bro is fucking cooked. Look at that hand. That's not human. Candidate Shuapan, you will ascend to the platform and enter the curtain threshold. Where's the fun in walking down the straightforward road? It's only right that something so precious and entertaining should be shared with everyone, wouldn't you agree? He places the jar on the ground, and from within, a desiccated hand emerges. Pathetic sorceress trickery, Ryoshi muttered with palpable distaste. Why is he...
안에서
What the heck is that? Corpses, their desiccated flesh covered in light. Sparse layer of old papers crawled out of the jar and began to shamble. They're neither distortions nor abnormalities. Their behavior reminds me of bloodbacks or sub-entities enslaved by abnormalities. Any semblance of consciousness has been stripped from them. They'll attack indiscriminately. But it seems that they're just as intent on maiming and killing whoever they can get their claws on. Executive Manager, we must prepare for battle. Your orders! The jar monsters set up on the audience, stuffing the struggling, still breathing victims into their jars. Why aren't the organizers doing anything? This is still an event hosted by a wing, isn't it? Because there isn't a rule in the family hierarch war that prohibits bringing harm to other people. So they're just gonna sit back and twiddle their thumbs because no one specifically told them to step in? What the hell? What do we do now? Should we step in?
살아남은 다음에 가주된
We should probably survive and ensure our safe participation in the family hierarch war. What the hell are these? Get away from me! As the monsters began to swarm in, some candidates scattered and ran away, while some stood their ground and fought back. Those who did neither were the ones getting slaughtered. I was simultaneously reminded of Sword and the confident smile she flashed at me as she reassured us that we should be able to pass the first round with little to no trouble. Looks like we have no choice but to take them down. Yeah, let's go! Fight, 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 fight! These are talisman monsters, right? Some kind of talisman monsters? Nailed jar monster. Interesting. So, I've heard some bad things about people, you know, putting things in the jars. Are these that kind of monsters? I'm just asking for a friend. I think we should be fine. No, they're just zombies? Okay. Fair enough. They're stacking poison on us. Take 2 fixed damage and half the count. I wonder if poison is gonna make an appearance as like an actual debuff that we can inflict. On next fight, equip 7 sinners, and let's put some sinners back up because it's chain battle. Real. Nah, I think I'll just take 7 sinners and no backup. I believe. The poison in this fight barely matters. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. But I'm saying, I wonder if we're ever going to get an ID that can inflict poison. Could be interesting. It would have to be a lot of potency for it to be valuable, especially compared to burn, that only reduces the amount of damage by 1. Oh, poor Ryosha just can't catch a break. I think she's not won a single clash this entire encounter. But I'm not sure. Dun 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 dun. Curse Rid Butcher Blade. Nice one. I'm sorry. I can't help but think of Kung Fu Panda whenever I hear when I hear this music. This music kind of sounds just like a Kung Fu Panda fight track. I don't know. Maybe it's disrespectful of me, but like I liked the previous fight music. The thumb. Help with the condition criteria of the team can be used on it. I personally like the units that make bind and or discard a mini team archetype. Kind of like the RUS team, to where there's units that are specialized for the team, but aside from that, any unit can help with the condition criteria. The team can be used on it. Yeah, bind or discard are kind of underutilized. Yeah. Yeah, we can bring 7 sinners. Okay, cool. I'll bring in you. I'll bring in these as chains as well, but there's no point in bringing these two. Ah, hell, why not?
아이고, 작전 호출.
Recommended level 51, by the way.
정리
For that.
시작합니다.
I don't think we need levels, honestly. It's gonna be fine.
장부에 적힌 놈들은 볼 때마다 기가 막혀. 우리 중지가 엄지처럼 엄격해.
두두두두둔, 두두두두둔, 두두두둔, 두두두두둔, 두두두두둔, 두두두둔.
그 고통과 미움을 똑같이 적에게 돌려줘 볼까?
Not a lot of damage we are inflicting. I notice we're not inflicting very much damage here. Are they like blunt weak? Nah, these are weak to everything, but no, they're just very sturdy in general. Okay. They are actually kind of pierce weak. Which is curious, because I'm trying to do a lot of pierce damage and this isn't even working that well. I guess we'll see. Okay. Did beat him, but apparently he has unbreakable coins? Wow, that's a strong skill he has. Very curious. Is that a special guy? That is a special guy. Monster from the gorged and devoured jar of loneliness. Ah. Okay. So he's a special guy. Well, can't really do anything. Best of luck, buddy. Best of luck, bud. Maybe we can stagger it. Like, when I'm listening to this, I could swear I've already heard this track before. And I swear it was in Kung Fu Man. Oh wow, we've won after 9 clashes. That's funny. Good job though. Another one? Yeah, another one. These guys are big. Big guys. Big guys. Big and scary. Shishke.
저녁만 찬 냄새를 맡아버린 손님들처럼 부들거리고 있네. 한 접시 근사하게 먹여줄까?
Killed one. These guys are very strong, actually. Maybe they have high coins? Here goes my suggestion to snack this Kanta's music for our avatar. I don't like this. I mean, it's not bad, okay? I'll say it. It's not bad. But it just... You are the Dragon Warrior. You know? I guess this is just like standard Chinese action music kind of vibe, right? Like stereotypical. But it doesn't make it any different. I guess this part is good. Like, I like this part a lot more. Feels different.
앞으로도 그렇게만 해주세요.
Did I give him an evade? Why was he evading? I already forgot. This part is also very good. With a riff. How fire is the Millie song going to be? Oh, I fucking hope. I pray to all the gods above that it's gonna be as fire as Xiao song.
세력이 많이 섞여나갔어.
You know the one from library.
이 기세로 계속 나아가보자.
I forgot the name of it, but you know the one. I am fire. Da, 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 da. That one actually had like similar Chinese motif. Like a classical Chinese motif. Iron Lotus, yes, of course.
What remained inside the hall after the battle was devastating. Many in the audience seats had fled, and the seats that were once brimming with people were only half filled. I'm sorry, I don't know that song, because the fewer memories. True. And the candidate zone down here was littered with bodies of candidates who were mauled to death. Meanwhile, the jar monsters, having eaten their fill, have already crawled back into the jar. I looked around and saw some candidates still holding tightly onto the treasures they each had brought to the contest, even as they drew their last breaths. In midst of all this destruction stood the cause of this chaos, watching the slaughter play out with assured confidence. How will you attain freedom from aging? How will you argue freedom from death? With minds so dull and bodies so frail. What say you, judges? I present before you not only the clue to immortality, but also a treasure that brings ruin to those who would dare to deceive you. Here is my answer to the perennial question. So you have brought us the clay of the jar. It can be said that those who fail to survive this do not qualify as family hierarchy candidates, yes? Pan of the Jua family passes. He gets to pass when he almost got everyone in here killed. All that matters is that what he has brought meets their standards. Xiao technically could appear considered she is alive, and it probably would be sometime this season, considering it's on Lucanto. I don't know, maybe. Looks like he managed to get 2 birds with 1 stone. He eliminated a distracting rabble from the competition. If we ever run into that bastard in round 2, you better let me take more than a few swings at him. 28th candidate, Shi Dazhen from the Shi family. But no one walked up to the platform. As he has failed to appear, he is eliminated by default. Jia Zheng called a few more names thereafter, but 29th candidate, 30th candidate. The number of candidates has clearly been called. But none appeared. Disappointingly, MB. Yeah, all the mediocre bunch got wiped out from that attack. And the leftovers are exhausted. Ryosha looked around as though she was doing some sort of critique. That look. That motherfucker. Well, I'll be. Thought you'd gone and vanished into the earth. What the hell are you doing crawling around out here? Girl, I saw you give me the evil eye. At least have the decency to say hi, eh? But Ryosha, is that guy's talking to you, right? And in a very, very rare display of raw emotion, I realized that she was anxious and furious. Oh, do you know him? What an absolute unit. Bloke's got to be at least 2 meters tall. Do not look at that man, Dante, and everyone, avert your eyes as well. It is strongly recommended we do not say a word to him. That's right, you shrimps. You gotta first rack them teensy brains of yours. Gotta think real hard about whether you even come close to my rank before running your mouths, you hear? That shithead. Lei Heng. He's a finger. The thumb is a syndicate with the strictest adherence to rigid hierarchical structure, even among the fingers. And his placement in the hierarchy is the highest even among their capos. His rank is immediately beneath the position of a Sotva kappa, or underboss. A small mistake could drag us into battle we do not want to fight. Please order everyone to not say a word, Dante. I don't know what's going on, but I get it. You're saying that we're this close to having another Ricardo hunting us down, right? Yeah, let's avoid that. Do as Faust asks, everyone. Lei Hang began stomping his way through the crowd towards us, casually but forcefully shoving anyone in his way to the sides. His gait was blasé and brutish, but I noticed that his eyes were fixed intently on Ryoshu. It seemed that among the crowd were some people in higher positions as well, but even they either averted their eyes or voluntarily got out of his way. He marched confidently through the frozen crowd, as though he was familiar with this kind of reception, until a cry rang out from the crowd. You there, you big brute. How dare you block young Master Nangong Shang's view? I'll have you know that you stand before the retinue of the Nangong family.
The house that shall soon be one of the 4 houses. Instead of a reply, that we heard the blast of gunpowder, then saw the right arm of the man who spoke out catapult into the air. The scream muffled as Lei Hang forcibly shoved his giant hand down the man's throat. Then, with the sound of a wet meat being pulled apart, he ripped the entire length of the man's tongue out through the mouth. Young Master Nangong Shan Hei, ain't ya? You owe me an arm now. Mighty sorry, but you should have kept a tighter leash on your boy's jawing. The young master of some prestigious house presented his right hand, though it was clear that he was utterly terrified. Lei Hang proceeded to grab his hand and break it off his forearm like a snapping a twig. I went easy on you, boy. Seeing a friendly face put me in a good mood. Anywho, I don't reckon you missed the spider's house. Can't imagine why anybody would. Gives me the heebie-jeebies too whenever I gotta swing by. We got some catching up to do later. I'll teach you how to hold your sword real good, right like back when. Weren't mine the best out of 'em all? I thought I taught you how to make every cut real fucking delicious. Ryoshu, now is not yet the time. The Faust whispered to Ryoshu in a low voice without raising her head. Shut up for a damn second. This is a foreshadowing character from the candle, like, yeah. Faust trusts that you still remember the promise made prior to your employment. Get that stick out of your behind, kiddo. I ain't here to pick you up. I sure as hell ain't trying to teach you a lesson either, like back when. Your baby's still at that house. Ain't that right? So she does have a child. Ryoshu was grabbing the hilt of her sword like she was about to unsheath it. The same sword she refused to unsheath for the duration of our entire journey. Am I wrong about that? Just what in tarnation happened? I'm glad I picked the right accent for this guy. I saw his lines, like the way they were written, I was like, yeah, that's him. I ain't exactly nose deep in them fellers' business, you gotta understand. Guess something sure as hell went down, though, didn't it? Yeah. Nah, ain't that something? How is he holding his cigar like that? How is he doing this? So you're really fixin' to unsheathe that blade? Miss Ryoshu. In a quiet but coldly stern voice, Faust calls Ryoshu's name. Ryoshu? Oh, dang it, what the gosh dang. My bad, y'all. I really gotta take this. It's the underboss calling, y'all gotta understand. Alright then, I'll meet you later. We can talk about your daddies or shoot some other shit then. See you around, Yoshihide. The strange man turns around and stumps his way through the crowd again, his booming voice reverberating across the entire hall as he loudly and boisterously answers the call. He's gotta be here for the family hierarch war, right? The outcome of the family hierarch evaluation determines the immediately foreseeable future of H-Corp, which brings the parties of varying, possibly clashing interests here. Hey, Heathcliff. Noticed you didn't rush ahead this time. I was worried it was gonna be like the time with the middle. I know a thing or two about the thumb back from my syndicate days. And about what happened with the middle, like I said, I had no bloody idea who those things belonged to. Besides, that sword is more powerful and violent than Ricardo, an individual we had encountered in the past. The thumb commands its own manner of terror and violence, unlike that of the middle. As we were all sharing our impressions of Lei Hang, I found Ryoshu frozen in place, in the same position she had been in when Lei Hang walked past her, spacing out. All the way to the pinky, huh? Ryoshu muttered something to herself, as even further chaos was about to overtake the crowd and the candidates. 32nd candidate, Jia Chu. Oh, it's this guy. Jia Zheng called upon the next candidate. And at the mere mention of the name, the chaos that had swallowed the whole immediately settled into a hushed silence. The Oro farmers, they have arrived. Jia Chu walked up the platform, unaccompanied by his own faction, but not alone. Who are those people next to Jia Chu? Never met them before. Oh, then that must mean that their big brother Jia Chu's answers to immortality. Who could they possibly be? Neither of them appear to be particularly skilled in combat. Yeah, they're both constantly looking around like they're nervous. They are... Faust believes that they are survivors of the library. Oh, shit. Survivors? Night Owls can't wait to see his peg leg ass in Limbus art style. The only ones to survive the impossible, inevitable odds, and insurmountable force. They're the only survivors who may be able to explain that very force. Possibly. Candidate Chu of the Jia family. Jia Chu didn't spend much time behind the curtains. He walked out soon after, his steely expression unchanged from when he entered it. The testimony rings true. They are both survivors of the place that soared beyond the star of the city, before it vanished. It is a shame that we were unable to procure ourselves an invitation then. He passes. Jia Chu's expression did not budge. Anxiety is going to be a foreign concept to that guy. What I mean by that is his battle design is, as we just say, the portrait. Oh, you mean, yeah, like the battle? Yeah. The battle, yeah, like the like the actual miniature, yeah. With the first round complete, to all 4 families who have graced this hall. Excuse me? Unlike Jia Chu, whose appearance plunged the hall into utter stillness, Hong Lu's sudden interjection roused the room to a roaring chaos of confusion once again. Bao Yu, what? I think you might have missed a candidate. What do you mean? I believe we have covered every candidate present at the list. You missed me. Jia Bao Yu of the Jia family will partake in the family hierarchy evaluation. They didn't know, Chad. They had no idea, Chad. Oh yeah, the fight. Wait, there was a fight there? Oh yeah, I guess there was. Declaration or participation? Isn't that Jia Bao Yu? What's that doing here? And what did he just say? I had a feeling this was going to happen, but we really kicked the hornet's nest, huh? Hark, one and all, and gaze upon our glory. In the 11th hour doth the final band of heroes arrives. Great split vertical coming up. Yi-sang, don't pretend you're not with us, huh? At least give the audience a wave. Guys, I don't think they're taking the announcement too well. A large portion of the audience is vociferously expressing their collective confusion, wrath, and concern. These emotions are expressed by the jaws that have been opened to past a certain degree. As Merceau observed, I realized the chaos wasn't restricted to the audiences. The candidates were starting to get agitated too. And there he is, the disgusting, duplicitous bastard, who brings annihilation to everyone around him with that silly, innocent smile. Huh? What's going on? I thought Bao Yu wasn't participating in the hierarch war. That dumbass. SYNC. Explain yourself, now. His sword told me to grab onto your sword like my life depended on it if you said that exact phrase. Blimey, can't we just... She mentioned you too, Heathcliff. She told me that if you ever said anything like, can't we just give him a good beating and be done with it? What a throwback. Decorum! I demand decorum! I hope you do not mean to risk having your body marred. Withdraw your name. It isn't too late. Now! I'm heading in, Father. 33rd candidate, Bao Yu of the Jia family. Come forth. Ready, Dante? I don't know. And what about you, Ryoshu? I'm itching to get shopping. Need to vent this shitty feeling. Are you sure they're going to be okay, Faust? This is something that must be done regardless of the sadness of its participants. Faust spoke sternly. I still quite detest this plan. Let's be honest for a sec. Are any of us actually happy to go through with this? Okay, I guess there's the one. Honglu, Ryoshu, and I walked up to the platform. Up close, I think I know what the plan is gonna be. It was much larger, grander, and more imposing than I thought it would be. Enter the fabric threshold. Once we walked past the curtains as instructed, we saw Jia Yuanchun, Jia Mu, and Jia Zheng waiting for us inside. I know not what in your life beyond the hedges could have wrought this change of heart. But to see you aspire to the seat of the hierarch is indeed a sight most curious. It's been a while, big sister. Has the life in the Q Corp been treating you well? I have seen and learned much, as you must have, Bao Yu. Now I see your true reason for returning home today. I'm sorry, grandmother. I thought better than to let this be common knowledge. So you did. Now that you have revealed your intent, withdrawal is no longer an option. Very well. Now present the answer that you have brought here today. I'm sure you've already sat through many people standing in the same place I am now, explaining to you what it was that they'd brought. So I suppose you would much prefer I'd give you a straightforward visual demonstration than make you sit through another 1,000-word lecture. Honglu gave Ryoshu a nod. He's gonna kill him. Yes, I'm okay. Our answer that we may be able to demonstrate before them is resurrection via Dante's power, to show them that to us, death is but a temporary setback. Yup. And the most dramatic demonstration of the ability would be to... I like the Ryoshu eyes that they drew on her. She fucking... Yeah, the vertical split. You called it. Yeah, great vertical. Great split vertical. That's cool. That's a cool shot. Very cool. Indeed, you have certainly demonstrated something. You were truly the least dreary part of the day, Bao Yu. Ah, I see. So the most effective way to do it would be for me to get killed in front of them. Without any room for ambiguity at that. Yes. Then... Does that mean that one of us has to, make sure that Honglu, no longer lives? Boy, no need to beat around the bush. Remember what we did to each other when we first met. Then, Heathcliff, is the implication that you are still willing to murder Honglu without hesitation? Murder? Mate, did you really have to put it like... Verily, I do not wish to hurt my good companions more than I already have. It may be a stretch to say that it is fortunate, however. We seem to have an individual among us who may be able to carry out the task in a most painless, swift, and unburdened manner. And everyone immediately turned to look at... Oh. So, how would you like to be cut? Where's that fucker, Lei Hang? Who's he working with? It seemed that slicing Honglu in half did nothing to distract Ryoshu from her own thoughts. Jiamu watched us in silence, motionless in her seat. You have split his brain in half. You have irreversibly ended this child's life. Not even life insurance shall be able to bring him back now. How you... Well then, what will you do now? You have no means to restore this jade to the family. For your transgressions you will... Clock, spin it. And so it turned in one of the most highly intensity situations I'd ever turned it. The music, the muscle fibers, the nerves, the flesh that was split all begin to reconnect like a rewinding videotape. Right, why doesn't this hurt at all? Ryoshu's skill with the sword was no joke. I didn't feel even the slightest bit of discomfort. Aw, she's just that good. I doubt Honglu even realized that he was dying. Bao Yu, I truly realized that it has been a while since we've met. He has grown quite bold. I smell beasts. Dark shadows had appeared outside the curtains, surrounding us before I even realized what was happening. Bull, rooster, dragon, monkey, the Heisho are here. The task was to find the answer to freedom from aging and death. Not to break a taboo and precipitate the destruction of our home. It has not been long since the family that once led H-Corp was brought to ruin. No arbiter nor claw shall ravage a family of Hong Yuan again. Jia Yuanchun appeared ready to command the Heisho to kill us all, but Jia Mu silenced her with a wave of her hand. You will wait. Venerable Jia Mu, once the resurrection is complete, the head will... We must end this before they... Hold for one moment. To be rash in judgment is to judge incompletely.
I wish not to lose either, our treasure and the clue to immortality. And Hong Lu was whole again.
감사해요.
He was whole. He was whole Lu.
느껴지지 않았어.
Thank you, Ryoshu. It really didn't hurt at all. And you too, Dante. P.
할머니,
Grandmother, big sister Yuan Chun. Did you see that? This is the immortality I found. Are we safe? If aught be owed, a swift vengeance shall arrive in time. It is simply yet to return. Jamu's quiet utterance seemed to dissipate the forces that had surrounded us outside the curtains. Jia Bao Yu in the first round of the family hierarch evaluations. You pass. Bao Yu of the Jia family passes. What trickery is this? I thought he was off on some sightseeing tour away from Hong Yuan like a jobless rich kid. When did he even manage to find his own answer? Thus ends the first round. Those who passed must prepare for the second round, set to commence tomorrow. Remember, the candidates are barred from harming one another between now and the commencement of the second round of the evaluations. This is your own one and only rule, thus remember it well. Anyone who dare break it shall immediately be disqualified. That is all. As soon as Jia Jing announced the end of the first round, everyone in the audience seats began rushing towards the first floor. Getting mixed up with that crowd's probably not a great idea. Let's get out of here. Indeed. Let us immediately return to Honglu's room. And we decided to slip out of here before the curious crowd swept us away. However, as we turned around to leave, they're here to aura farm to Jia Chu in our path.
아, 치우 형님이
Ah, Big Brother Chu. Congratulations on passing the first round.
도련님도 합격.
I hear that you passed as well, young master. Congratulations are in order, it seems.
평생
How is it that you, young master, who has shown not an inkling of ambition toward the seat of the hierarch,
어쩐 일로
suddenly emerge as one of its candidates, positively stealing the show?
뭐
Well, you know, sometimes people get swept up by random surges of ambition.
욕심을 낸 건
Wasn't that surge of ambition your company's and not your master Bai Yu's? Well, if our last meeting didn't confirm it, it sure seems like they know us well.
테두리 안에 있자.
Have we not impressed upon you enough that you were to nicely remain within the borders? Instead, he sparks such disorder at the fringes of his perimeter. I had thought that his only role in his design would be to be played as a pawn by Jiaxi Chun. No more.
죽은
My lord, perhaps you overestimated this young master. Are you still of the belief that inaction is a path without consequences?
전에 인사도 제대로
I didn't even get to say hello to you earlier, Brother Chu.
가시 가문
Bao Yu of the Jia family formally extends his greetings to you.
성인이 된
I realize that this is the first time we're meeting face to face since I reached adulthood.
처음이 그나저나
Speaking of which, did you manage to stitch Big Brother Yi Hua and Mr. Jing Tao's heads back onto their bodies? Heathcliff was the first to let out a flabbergasted gasp before the other sinners followed suit.
공원의 형제자매끼리
I guess that's just how siblings of Hong Yan greet each other, huh? Seems like Miss Bao Chai was just a particularly nice exception. You ask a question that deserves no answer. You have arrived here unprepared, yet ready to cast yourself into the flames all for the mere reason that your turn had come. If your mind hasn't changed that it would have been wise to remain unseen and unnoticed as you were.
네.
Yes, thank you for your concern. This facade of wisdom and pensiveness worn upon your speech is truly intractable.
제가 그랬나요?
Do I do that? Noticing Jia Chu's hand tighten around his weapon, Ishmael quickly jumped in.
아
In case you forgot, there's a rule preventing candidates who pass the first round from killing each other. Hopefully I'm not the only one who remembers that.
계속
If you're going to continue to bully us, don't be surprised that there are consequences.
저희 오티스 씨
Otis, you finished the preparations, right?
준비는
Mm-hmm.
지원군들은 지금
Aura Farmer versus the unbridled silliness, yeah. Reinforcements are standing by at the front gate. Huh? What reinforcement?
그래서
Which is why I'm warning you that taking any rash action prior to the start of the second round could result in a pointless skirmish for both of us. A loud boast from an illusory army in an empty fortress. Though I believe that sheer might is hardly the quality one should flaunt. I am not intent on fighting you here. Jiabaoyu, you will beget great suffering by endeavoring to embrace beyond your abilities. See a jump scare? Yeah. Yet if he still wishes to challenge and be broken, then perhaps that outcome is simply meant to be. And with that, they turned around and left us. It seemed that they were here only to give us a warning. What a relief. I thought we'd have to fight Jia Chu and his Heisho pack. They did see right through us in the end, but hey, nice teamwork, Otis. What unbelievable impudence. Did you notice how they did not even glance at the rest of us through their entire exchange? Red Bao Chai peeked out from a pillar before walking up to Honglu. You passed the first round! I'm so happy for you, Bao Yu. Seriously, what's going on here? I didn't imagine even in my wildest dreams that you'd be participating in the family hierarch war. Congrats to you too, big sister Bao Chai, for passing the first round.
나한테 숨겼을 정도면
Gathering from the fact you hid it even from me, you really didn't want anyone to know, right?
맞아.
Yeah.
아마 나 때문에
I imagine that must have kicked up quite the ruckus with everyone. Now I'm starting to feel kind of bad about this. Someone we ended up lying to everyone.
뭐 어때요?
Hey, don't beat yourself over it. Own it instead.
이렇게 된 거
Well, if it isn't all the same to you, then I want to say that I'm so happy that you decided to take part.
왜냐하면
I was worried that you might have already left Dagwan Yuan so far, far away from me again by the time I was finished with the family hierarch war. That wouldn't be too bad.
하잖아. 그러니
So I'm glad that we'll get to spend more time together, even as contestants.
다행이야.
Don't forget to say hello and give me a wave if we ever run into each other, okay?
이렇게 인사해줘.
Shreya Bao Chai left us to rejoin her faction, waving sweetly as she did so. Oh, so good. What a shot, dude. This is great. I just wish it were me. Anyway, moving quickly on. Oh, actually, I think I'm gonna end it here, though, folks. I think I'll continue on the on Wednesday. I think I'll continue on Wednesday because I'll be able to finish this story before the reset, and it's been 3 hours, and I've been yapping nonstop. So I think I'm gonna end it here. That's pretty good, though. Very good start to the Kanto. I feel very excited for it, I would say. There's still more talking. Yeah. I see the book icon. I know that this one is gonna be talking. And then there's like probably a couple more nodes of talking, and then maybe like one more fight coming up. So this part is light on fights but heavy on story. It was kind of the same way in the previous Kanto, to be fair, I feel. No. Was it? Yeah, it kind of was. Look, we had some fights. Fight, story fight, story fight, story fight, story fight, story fight. Oh, there's a lot of story fights, actually. Story fights. But then, like, a pure story, pure story. There's talking, even in the boss fight. I bet. Story, 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 story. Still a lot of story in this one. There's probably more in the sixth one, right? One talking. Yeah, there's more in this one. Absolutely. Talking. And then we get some fights clustered up around this part. There's one fight. There's a couple fights here, but not serious. Got a 7 at the barber. This part's boss is neat enough, but he's no barber. I guess we'll see. In any case, I thank you everyone for coming today. I hope you had fun watching me ramble and give silly voices to everybody. I will see you on Wednesday when I'm gonna do a lot more of the same. Same time starting as today.
we're just gonna do a lot more. We're gonna finish this story arc. Yeah. And until then, I'll see you guys. Have a good night. Love you all.